That yeah hello everyone, welcome. Let's I'm making sure that I'm just turn them on so they can actually hear me and I can hear them. Are you all pretending to mouth now?
Yes.
No.
I've just
the oldest joke in the book is brilliant.
It's just come up that I'm streaming on Elder Scrolls, but
why are you streaming Elder Scrolls? Are you doing the new update?
No,
with a new update, Tricks. That's why.
I wanted to do it yesterday, but I had to change the adventure. So because you don't have a Decker.
Medivac broke his PC.
Yeah, I think it's quite ironical that the Decker cannot be with us tonight because he's broken his deck. Is it actually streaming onto? It says it's updated.
Hang on, I'll go on through it because I haven't been on.
It says Elder Scrolls.
It says
Online.
Elder Scrolls Online at the moment.
Let me refresh.
Go in and it says Sunday streaming 50th level in my sites.
Yeah.
I have something different. I have episode 4 ? The runners are busy trying to ensure the twins have a good time at the convention, but you're playing Elder Scrolls Online.
No, but I have that up at I have that as sort of like a fit. No, it's done, but it's still showing Elder Scrolls Online as the badge.
Yeah.
All right, so I am on the right channel then.
No, it's still showing Elder Scrolls Online as the game. But your title's changed now.
Yeah, you've got episode 4, the runners are... Yeah.
Right, now it's changed. Right.
Has it changed? Right, we're all right, we're good. Thank heavens for that. Hello and welcome to this week's Shadowrun game. Unfortunately, Locksmith, the Decker, thank you for the bits, Chugga. You're always sharing your bits with me. You're so nice.
No.
That actually puts you in the lead.
Well, I was anyway.
Well, yeah, I didn't notice. So yeah, so
actually done something else rather than just put me in the lead.
Has it made me reach my target?
Yes.
Oh, that's very kind of you. That's lovely. Thank you very much. Oh yes, it's just changed now on my thing. So yeah, so welcome. Locksmith the Decker cannot be with us because his computer or deck has actually there was something about
data bombed.
A CPS or UPS or CPU or something.
Isn't CPS the Crown Prosecution Service?
I'm not too sure, but something's gone wrong.
I don't think it would have been with that. It was his PSU.
PSU, so whatever that is, it's not
Power
working.
Supply unit.
That'd teach him to try to download files without checking for data bombs first, because I think he just got data spiked somewhere. I think that's what happened. So he's not with us.
Play for 12 minutes before his computer shuts down.
Well,
so we could have sort of like got him in at a key time, and he could have.
Well, actually, he could have just been in roll 20 and press a dice roll, couldn't he?
Well, no, because he can only be on for 12 minutes before his computer shuts down as it overheats.
Oh right, can't he text? Listen to the stream and text. There'll be a slight delay. Well, no, but no. Yeah, anyway, so he's not here. So the 4 becomes once again 3. It's gone from the famous foursome down to the infamous threesome.
The 3 amigos.
The 3 amigos. Do you know, while I went off to get my coffee, I had a quick look at the television, and the 3 Musketeers was on. I really liked the beginning. It's not one that I've seen before.
I
But
never understood it because there was 4 of them.
Yeah.
It's because it was the 3 Musketeers and the tagger along.
yeah.
D'Artagnan.
No, but D'Artagnan was the main character.
No, he wasn't to start off with. There was just the 3 Musketeers, and then he was a new one, and he sort of like tagged along. But in this one, there's also Milady as well. You know,
Was it the BBC one, or was it one of these crappy?
It was a film.
Old films.
Oh, was it the film with Orlando Bloom?
Yeah.
Don't
It was really good.
you want the 1961 Oliver Reed one?
Oh no,
That's the best.
You want the 80s cartoon Dogtangler?
Oh yes, that
Yeah.
was classic. So I went and had a quick look at that. So I thought it was quite good. I quite liked the intro that they were doing. So I might work on that for a new game or a new intro sometime. So anyway, let me give the players an opportunity for them to introduce who they are and who they will be playing in tonight's Shadowrun game. And as always, we go along to the ginger-haired lad. No, sorry, wrong game. The old 47-year-old, played by Chugawugga.
Hi guys, I'm Chugawugga. The character who I play is a middle-aged, slightly balding, overweight guy by the name of Stanley Lovely. By the name of Studley on the streets. He fulfills the role of the mage for the group. He is also the face and the person that normally comes up with the
Goods.
plans. And when he's not running the shadows, he's living at home, looking after his mom, who has various illnesses because she's coming up to 80 years old.
Oh, bless her.
And I will pass on, I think he's finished off telling off the kids, to Big Beastie.
I am Big Beastie, and I was not telling off the kids.
Oh, hang on, mate. Me screen just changed all by itself for some other reason. It's all right, nobody was watching. I got away with it. Yeah, go on. Sorry, Big Beastie, carry on your intro.
I am playing the character Billy Bob, the big, lovable goof of an orc, the tank of the group, the ex-military, ex-British soldier who loves puppies and killing people.
Cool. And
Longshanks,
Yeah.
EPG.
Hi guys, I'm Longshanks CPG. Tonight I'm playing Tornado. He is the new lad to the group. He fulfills the rigger role. So basically he has all the tech support, so he can get a drone out and fly around and follow people. He can sort of like using his internal augmentations, he can take control of it, or he can sort of like put his conscious mind inside the car and drive the car as the car, and he feels everything as the car, and that's quite cool.
excellent.
The role he plays.
So that brings it back to me. So I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of the story so far. Then we're going to dive straight into tonight's adventure. So the party have been hired to look after 2 twins at a gaming convention to ensure that they have a good time. Now, on the first day, they're currently living in the Madison Hotel. And on the first day, they did not that well, and the twins left quite heartbroken. However, last adventure, they regrouped and reorganized and actually managed to do some significant improvements in the run. They managed to, poor Erin, who's one of the twins, her favourite game of gunshots and ladders was actually sold out. However, the party managed to locate that there'd been some kind of scam going on, and they managed to locate some of the shipment that was waiting to be picked up and taken away. While posing as Studley posed as a law enforcer called Sergeant
Officer Lyman.
Officer Lyman, thank you very much. And went over, and then all the lights went out. Locke was in the Matrix, in the host, when the power was cut, which meant that he got dump shocked out of it back to the hotel. Billy Bob and Tornado managed to get there, and lo and behold, the doors opened on the outside, and there was a guy with a staff t-shirt on coming in. Billy Bob dealt with him quite effectively with the helping hand of some kind of spell. What spell was it, Studley?
That was Clout.
Clout, that's it. Yeah, I was going to say stun bolt, but it's not Clout. Managed to knock him out, and then they managed to rip open the packaging and actually take a copy, or it might have been 2 copies, of Gunshots and Ladders, and they headed back away from the gaming convention back to the hotel. Meanwhile, Locke had hacked into the host of Madison, the hotel, and had changed the rooms for the twins to the penthouse. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's how we left it last week. Is that correct? And you were just heading back to the hotel. Yeah,
that's right.
So that's the end of day 2. So we're doing well. So first question is, it's coming to the end. So it's about 5-6 o'clock at night at the moment. What's the plan? I think either Tornado or Billy Bob. I think you've got the Gunshots and Ladders game.
Billy Bob's got it in his backpack.
I've got a couple of copies in my...
Okay, so Billy Bob, what are you planning on doing with these games?
I'm gonna give them to the kids.
Okay, so you toddle up to their room, and you sort of like knock on the door, and if you remember, Erin was quite distraught after it. Do you want to knock on Erin's door or Aaron's door?
Did they not move to the penthouse yet?
No, they're still in their rooms.
Oh, right, okay. So yeah, I'll knock on Erin's door.
Yeah, and after a while, she sort of like appears in, and you notice that she's got red eyes from all the crying, and she sort of like says, "What do you want?"
I've come with gifts.
The only thing that would make me happy at the moment. She's sort of like looking down, and you can see that she's still sort of like crying. Is a copy of the Gunshot and Ladders game, and the convention is completely sold out, and I'm never ever going to get one at all.
Hey, Bob's going to turn around and say, "Close your eyes, hold out your hands."
She said, "Sorry." And she sort of like looks up at you and sort of like into your orcish face. "Are you pulling my leg?" "No, sir, I'm leading you by the arm." No, sir. Yeah, she sort of like looks at you.
So he's going to turn around and say, "Close your eyes."
"Is this some kind of trick?"
Maybe. No, no.
Well, she sort of like closes her eyes, but she sort of like got one little bit open.
Yeah, so Billy Bob's going to turn around, so his back's to her, pull out a copy, and hand it to her.
Oh yeah, and Erin sort of like sees it and sort of like bursts in a sort of like ecstasy, and quite forgetting where she is and what she's doing, she suddenly just sort of like flings her arms round you, Billy Bob, round you there, and you suddenly notice that she's quite slight. She's very slight and very sort of like sylph-like, and as she sort of like hurls herself at you, it's just like a bit like having a bit of paper brush against you, and she's sort of like she doesn't go as far as to kiss you or anything like that. She just sort of like says, oh, I am so pleased. And she's so excited. And Aaron comes to the door and sort of like says, "Yo, what's going on?"
Billy Bob's going to shout, "Get it off! Get it off!"
And Erin sort of like detaches herself from you, Billy Bob, and sort of like shows the game proudly to Alan, who sort of like goes, "Wow, man, you're cool." like this at you, and yeah, and he sort of like, she sort of like says, "Thank you so much. I'm going to go and call my father." And she dashes back into her room, closing the door. And Aaron just says, "Pretty good going, mate."
Billy Bob's going to hand him the other copy.
And he says, "Good idea. Get one just in case she loses the first one. We know what she's like." And he sort of like takes it. You notice he doesn't open it or anything. He just sort of like keeps it in its packet with a plastic wrap around it, and takes it in and says, "You're pretty cool, mate," and closes the door behind him.
Billy Bob goes back down to the room,
to the bunk bed room. So we're going to pretend that Locke, who got dump shot out of the host in the last adventure, he's going to be out for a while on the bed for this adventure, so that's where he actually is, and it's getting to about 6 and 7 o'clock now. Studley, I was thinking, you haven't been to see your mom for a while.
No, he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to do that. This isn't the type of job that he likes, being away from his mum. He is responsible for her, so he is going to have to at least go and spend a few hours there, making sure that she's all right. But that's going to take him time to get her across town.
Yeah, so
an hour or so.
So last time, Tornado drove you in the van, I think.
Yeah, Tornado. If Studley says that, Tornado will say, "Oh, that's right. I'll drive you back this time because I've got to go and check on Fenris."
So, if both Studley and Tornado, are you leaving the hotel?
I mean, Studley's going to have to leave, yes, because he.
And so, what about you, Tornado? Because you do have the option of
Tornado's going to drive, but he's going to go fully rigged in this time when he's driving.
So, are you going in the vehicle then?
Yeah.
Okay then, so Tornado sort of like gets in the van. Are you leaving any of your... because usually you have a fly spy that is situated behind the door.
Yeah, no, that's going to be there still.
Okay then.
And he's going to have that like as an open window.
Yeah, so the only issue about that will be the noise factor. Because as you naturally get further and further away, noise will come into the actual start to interfere with the signal, just because it's like a normal wireless signal. Now you do have the option to actually suppress that noise, I think, via your electronic warfare.
Okay.
If you are jumped into it. Otherwise, it's just the drone that will actually be connected to it. So if you roll your electronic warfare and your logic, and it's limited by the data processor of your RCC.
Data processor of RCC. That's 5. So the limit is 5.
Okay, cool.
1.
Cool. So you'll be able to reduce the noise factor by 1. So if anything actually comes that you need to actually rig back to the hotel, then you'll have a noise factor which will reduce your dice pool accordingly. Okay. So if I say I won't deduct that 1, so make sure that you deduct it. Okay. So Tornado and Studley, you're off. You're going to head back to Studley House, then to Tornado's house, then back to you. Studley, how long are you going to stay there for?
Well, I mean, it was about 6 o'clock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So Studley was planning on going back, sorting out her tea, getting her into bed, and then sort of like maybe going back after that.
So say till about 10, 11 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. So you probably get home about 7, and then Tornado could come back and pick you up about 11, and then actually head back. So you'll be back. Sort of like shortly after midnight. Say that's when you both will arrive back. And Billy Bob, what's your plan of action? You're in here with comatose Locke.
Billy Bob's gonna make sure Locke's comfortable. Then he's gonna go around doing his normal routine of making sure his kit's all stashed away neatly and stuff.
Cool. So you all sort of like head off in your various directions. Studley, you get dropped off at home, and Tornado, you move on to your place to check out your drones in your house. And it's while you're at your house that it's about 9 o'clock when you notice that there's movement outside the twins' door. Due to the distance that you are, do make a perception check for me. Can you use the drone one, so it'd be pilot plus the clear sight? And it's limited by their sensor rating.
Yeah. Tests. Clear sight. Situation modifiers. Is that where I put my -1 in?
No, I just want to see what the drone sees itself first, and then I'll communicate to you what you actually see. Okay, so you get this rather fuzzy image coming through, and what you can see is a man. You can only see the back of him because that's where your fly spy is, and the feed that's coming through is quite sort of like crackly and distorted, and you realize that this is because of the distance that you're away from it. And he seems to be carrying what appears to be like a case. It's bigger than a suitcase, a briefcase, but smaller than a suitcase. And he's sort of like, I tell you what it looks like, a bit like, when the evacuees used to go away and they used to carry one of those little cuboid cases. It's a bit like that. It's completely black, and from the back you can see that he's got a grey almost like trench coat on, and he's also got a hat on, so your fly spy can literally only see the back of him. What would you like to do?
Okay. I'm going to immediately open a comm call up to Billy Bob.
Yeah.
Hello.
Something suspicious going on outside the twins' rooms. Tall guy, briefcase type sort of sized bag.
As soon as he said suspicious outside the twins' room, but Billy Bob's gonna make his way up there.
Okay.
Grey trench coat and hat.
So Billy Bob, you sort of like go up the stairs. Are you going stairs or lift?
He's going to run up the stairs.
Yeah. So if you remember, as you go up the stairs, there's a door that opens out onto the corridor, and you can see through the little fire escape window, in case of fire, that there is indeed, it's definitely human. And could you just roll a perception test for me, please? Yeah, he seems to have his comlink out, and he seems to be waving it about in front of the door. It's definitely his comlink, and he's definitely waving it about in front of the door. What would you like to do?
Billy Bob's going to confront him. He's going to turn around and say, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, so you sort of like come out of the door and sort of like walk down the corridor. How close are you going to get before you challenge him? Just roughly.
About halfway down the.
So how close do you want to be to him? That's what I need to know.
So he's gonna open the door, walk through, see, have a quick look at what he's doing. So he's going to be, he's still going to be like halfway down the corridor.
So
before
you're probably about 3 meters away from him.
Okay.
Is that all right, or do you want to get
Yeah,
closer?
no, that's fine.
No, so you get about 3 meters away from him when you shout out your challenge, and he sort of like looks up and looks around and sort of like says, "I'm dreadfully sorry. Who may you be?"
I'm the guardsman.
Are you hotel security?
Can I help you, sir?
Are you hotel security?
Maybe.
No, very, very off-putting. Well, this is my room, and I can't seem to get in it. The comlink will not change. The lock will not change to my comlink to allow me to get access. So you guys know that generally all doors are controlled by the hotel, but when you get a room, rather than like in modern days you get a key card, in this day in 2076, when you go up, you scan your comlink and it registers your payment and it changes the lock to that comlink. So technically, just like you've experienced before, as you go towards doors, it acknowledges your SIN or your comlink and it opens it for you quite naturally, and then it shuts it and locks it moments afterwards. So really and truly that locking is automatic, but you never notice it because as you come towards the door it automatically disengages the lock. Yeah, so he says, this door will not seem to register my comlink. Is there somebody I can talk to about this?
Does Billy Bob? I can't remember if Billy Bob know about the kids getting upgraded to the penthouse.
Yeah, Locke probably communicated that through the channels with you. Yeah.
He's gonna turn around and say to the bloke, I would see the front desk about that, sir.
Well, this is definitely my room. I've just been there to the front desk, and they directed me to this room. He's in front of Erin's room, by the way, not Alan's. He's in front of Erin's. She definitely said he looks at the door and it says 213, and he says, yes, definitely this room.
Maybe they made a mistake.
Right, well, I'm a bit confused by this. I mean, I've paid good money for this thing. Can I take your name, please?
Billy Bob.
Right, Mr. Billy, Mr. Bob. I will go down to the front desk and inform them on this this mix-up. I don't know. I come to the Madison. I really do expect to have better service than be confronted by an orc while I'm trying to get into my room at this time of the night. And he sort of like turns around and he heads towards the elevator.
Billy Bob's going to knock on the doors.
Yeah, which one would you like to knock on?
Both of them.
Both of them. Yeah, and Erin and Aaron come to the doors.
He's going to tell them to pack their things. They're moving up in the world.
Yeah, just make a perception roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can see past Erin, and the room is quite full of stuff. There's a whole load of her cosplay outfits all over the place. You figure to actually pack up is going to take the best part of maybe the night. You know, Aaron, of course, he's just sort of like living out of his suitcase and there's hardly anything out. Erin says, what do you mean? What do you mean we've been upgraded?
Are
we not staying at the Madison anymore?
No, Billy Bob's gonna just tell them to get their kit sorted, put away.
Aaron says to you, he says, mate, we can do it tomorrow because tomorrow's a rest day at the convention. You know, It's all about costumes, and we've got our costumes, so we'll do it tomorrow. It'll take a lifetime to actually pack up all our stuff. In any case, tomorrow will be fine.
He's gonna inform him about the room mix-up.
Whoa. What? About the guy coming to the door?
Yeah.
Yeah. He sort of like, Aaron says, oh, right, I'll get in touch with the front desk and see what they say. Oh, these hotels, they can't really do anything right, can't they? Erin has gone in and shut the door.
Billy Bob's gonna wait. In fact, he's gonna ask to go in and make sure he does what he says.
Yeah, well, Aaron goes in and calls the front desk, and he seems to have a discussion with the manager, and Aaron's quite shocked because apparently the twins are booked into the penthouse, and they've been charged for that for the whole of yesterday or since it happened on an hourly basis. But they're also booked into these rooms as well, and it seems as if that they've been moved to the penthouse, and these rooms are now showing as empty, but obviously they haven't left, and so the locks are still in their name. And Aaron sort of like says, well, we're not normally in the penthouse. These are normally our rooms that we do every year. And Aaron, the manager, obviously says something down the other end, and Aaron says, "Well, we'll sort it in the morning. We'll sort it in the morning. Stop payment on the penthouse until tomorrow, will you, Mister?" And the managers, you can hear the managers go, "Oh yes, of course. Oh yes, I think that's totally fine, Mr. Dreyfus." And Aaron just turns around to you and says, "Sorted."
Right. So Billy Bob's gonna he's gonna say okay, have a good night, and he's gonna head back down.
Yeah, and as you go out, you notice that Aaron's back on his comlink playing something like Randy Rush, is it? I think he's playing, and he's busy playing that, and as the door shuts, and you hear the door lock as you exit, and you can see Tornado's drone attached itself to the wall as you leave. And are you heading back down to your room now, Billy Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you can head down there and settle in, and maybe order yourself some room service, because you notice that you can use Locke's comlink because it's just lying on the bed, so you can probably pick it up and just sort of like quickly, order a bit of free food rather than using.
Yeah. I think Billy Bob's going to do that.
Yeah, rather than using your own, just maybe order a few things on yours.
He wants to draw a funny face as well on
Locke.
On Locke.
Yeah, cool. Go for it. You should have control on roll 20. Yeah, I'd teach you to be absent, Mr. Medivac. Yeah, so you're sort of like busy drawing on Locke's face, and you ordered some sort of like Synthweiser beer. That I could tell you did art A level big. I've decided already.
If your hand razor's sharp enough, you might be able to lose his eyebrows.
Yeah, just like shave off an eyebrow when he's not looking. You can change colours,
Okay.
You can, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know whether or not you would just go for red for the.
Well, maybe he only had one pen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's sometime after midnight when Tornado and Studley, you arrive back, and Billy Bob communicates with you what's happening. He also tells you that tomorrow it's what's known as the costume day. So on the third day of the convention, you can find this information, on the Matrix, just with a computer roll, which you could probably buy hits. How many hits do you buy?
How do you buy hits?
I think. Hang on. Oh,
I thought it was 1 per 4 dice. Wasn't
I
it?
think that's right. Yeah, I think that's. Da, 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 da. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's 1 per 4.
In which case, I'll just roll it because.
Cool. Yeah, 33 hits. Yeah, so tomorrow, you notice on the site that tomorrow is costume day. And costume day is not, it's classed as a rest day of the convention. And it's when a whole load of people selling costumes actually come in and sell their wares. And you, Erin and Aaron, inform you the next morning that they're not actually going to it. Because as you know, Erin's got quite a lot of outfits already, and they're both well suited. They also say it's a bit like for the really desperate people to go on, and the majority of the people take it easy because the next day is the LARP event, which is, of course, the live action role play event. And Erin is really excited because she's actually signed you up as a team for the LARP. And so this isn't today, this is tomorrow. And at the LARP event, what happens is that you all get dressed up, and it's almost like a scavenge hunt around the gaming convention. So you have to discover clues and then go over and talk to people, and they're of course like NPCs dressed up, and they interact, etc. And there's normally about 5 or 6 teams all working together trying to sort of like figure out what's going on, and you go around and try to decipher clues. And Erin's sort of like super excited about this because she sort of like thinks, oh, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. And you've all swapped. Did somebody lose connection?
I did, but I checked Twitch. I checked your channel after and waited until.
Because you've all moved around on Zoom.
Oh, right. Oh, maybe I didn't check that. I lost connection from Zoom.
I'm experiencing huge lag on Zoom. Well, I don't know if it's my internet or Zoom, but
Internet. Mine's fine.
it's probably my internet.
Everybody's moved round.
So did Erin give us any ideas before we left her on the evening of what we were going to have to be dressed up as?
No, but she does say to you, this is the next morning, by the way, so this is in rest day morning. She does tell you that she has costumes for you. Or, well, actually, she says you're going to be dressed as something suitable. So, and she does sort of like says, I'm sure I could find something for you. And at that point, she sort of like looks up and down at Billy Bob. And as she looks up at Billy Bob, she goes and gives you a bit of a wink. And then Studley, she sort of like looks down you and just concentrates on your portly belly and say, I might have to do some alterations like that. And then she sort of like says, she sort of like dashes off, leaving her waffles behind, and dashes off to her room. And you're left at the breakfast table with just you guys and Aaron. And Aaron says to all of you, he sort of like says, so what's this about the penthouse?
Well, I can only assume that there's been maybe some confusion on their booking system.
I don't think we have the money. Well, we do have the money, but I don't think my dad's going to like it if we're paying the penthouse fees.
Well, I mean, it's obviously a fault on their on their side rather than something that you've done. I'd be quite happy to come with you to have a word with the manager.
We're quite happy in our rooms, but do you think we should change?
Well, I think if you change to the penthouse, then of course the payment would have to be made to the rooms. From what Mr. Bob was saying, Erin does have the ladies' share of suitcases as usual, and it would probably take you most of today to actually move her stuff up there. The time can, of course, be spent doing other things that you may find enjoyable.
He says, just make a perception roll, Studley. Yeah, he sort of like becomes somewhat distracted, and you figure it almost like looks as if, you know, when you astral percept or Locke goes into the Matrix, he definitely seems to be that sort of look in his eye. His eyelids are flickering a bit, but he just seems to be gazing straight ahead, and then he says, "Oh, looks like they've passed payment on the penthouse. Let's get moving, I say." And he sort of like stands up and heads off to the lift to go up and to sort of like inform Erin. And he's sort of like partly to the lift when he stops and he physically turns around and walks back to all you three. And he sort of like gets really close, and the next thing he sort of like says is in really like hushed tones to you, and he says, "I did some snooping after that game we played on the first day, you know." And he says, "I came up with this," and he sort of like takes two fingers and goes like that, and you notice once he does that you all get a comlink, piece of information straight to your comlinks. And he says, "Did you know?" He says, "It looked like we were being tampered with, and that's why we messed up that game. You know, the one that we were really looking forward to."
The one that yes, the one that you were playing with I believe his name was Crank.
Oh, now that is interesting.
Galactic Patrol, Robo Warrior Force, 7th edition.
Yeah.
I remember.
He says, "Well, you might be interested with this. The person doing the snooping with us had put this on my communicator." And he sort of like passes it over, and it's like a cog shaped mark. And he says, "I did some tracing with it, and yeah, it actually belongs to a person called Crank, a decker called Crank. Looks like he was tampering with our systems. I wasn't very happy. We should have been really good at that game. However, he was tampering with us. Shame you guys couldn't have stopped it. That would have been really beneficial. Anyway, maybe you can do something about it now, I wonder." He says, "I'll leave it with you. Oh," he says, "by the way," and he flicks two fingers, not that way, like that. He puts them together and flicks in the air again. And you suddenly notice that he has sent you some credits, because if you remember in the last game, he said he struck a deal with you, if you remember, and said that he would give you 1,000 credits if you located a copy of Gunshots and Ladders for him. If you, yeah, sorry,
Was it 1,000? Was
No.
it 5?
yeah, 5,000, and
spent
he
that
sort of
on-
like between you, so he sort of like sends it across. So there's 5,000 credits to put over. He says, maybe if you can sort out this crank for me, then maybe, you know, we can strike another deal maybe. And he turns around, walks away, and he says, oh, he turns back to you, and he sort of like talks quite loud now. He says, oh yeah, sorry, you gave 2 copies, didn't you? And he goes like that, and another 5k pings to your communicators.
Should have got 3.
Should have bought the case. Tornado says under his breath.
As he's turning to go, Studley wants to switch to astral perception and to see what type of cyberware, if he can see what Evan has.
Yeah, make an assensing check.
Oh,
5 successes.
Yeah, I just need to find the table, because there's a table, isn't there, that says what.
Yeah, there is. And on magic reference.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How many hits did you get?
5.
5. Okay, so that gives you precise location of delta-wear implants, gene treatments, nanotech, and accurate diagnosis of any disease, etc. And the final thing that it allows you to have, which is something that you notice straight away, he's actually got no cyberware at all. He's not magically active. However, due to 5+ successes, you can tell that he's actually a technomancer.
Thought so.
So for those of you who are not too sure what a technomancer is is like a decker, but they can do it all without a deck. They just use the power of their mind. They also have little devices called sprites, little entities that they are actually purely code. And they can use these a bit like Studley uses his spirit to do something like one of the most popular thing they can do is diagnostics, I think, diagnose weapon to give additional pluses or minuses, or they could do something called gremlins, which actually causes things to malfunction. But yeah, he's definitely, and you just get that because of your role, he's definitely is a technomancer.
Oh. Very nice.
So, what are we going to do about this crank guy?
I mean, I was thinking last night when I was at home what we could do, and I did the plan that I came up with was to maybe try to find him in the on the convention floor, but chances are he's not going to be there today, with it being an off day, unless of course he's playing the booths and doing what he was doing to Aaron and Aaron and humiliating people.
Okay, make a group, a team test for judge intention. So you need to decide who's going to be the leader first. Who's going to be the leader for the judge intention role? Preferably the person who's got the most, the highest hit dice for it.
I'm rolling 6 dice.
I think it's on the.
I'm rolling 7.
What's Billy Bob rolling?
-2.
6.
Really? What's
Charisma and intelligence.
Intuition.
Intuition.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So intuition's 5, charisma's 1.
6. Yeah. So that's fine. So Studley, you'll be the leader. So Billy Bob and Tornado both roll your judge intention rolls. So
Tornado got
you
2.
you get another 2 dice from Tornado. And another 2, so you have 4 extra dice, and I think that also increases your modifier. Let's have a look. Skills. For each assistance that at least one hit, the relevant for each assistance that scores at least hit, the relevant limit of the leader's test is increased by 1. Additionally, each hit the assistants make adds 1 dice to the leader's dice pool. So your limit, Studley, is increased by 2, and you get 4 more dice to it. And you're looking for as many hits as you possibly can to have this information. 5 successes, nice one. Okay, so you all sort of like congregate round, and you sort of like figure out that Crank is probably not the sort of person to buy costumes, but he is probably the kind of person to go around and make fun of people buying costumes, if that makes sense to you, you know.
He's a nasty piece of work.
Yeah, well, I think he's probably very insecure about himself, you know, and just tries to make himself feel better by making fun of other people, which is not at all correct. Juggerbuck, you just need to change your icon. I think it's because you come out.
Yeah, my thing's crashed.
Your thing?
My whole thing. So my
Oh no! Locke's giving you a virus.
I had like an error coming up.
I
Error.
think we need to make sure we don't sit on Locke's pan.
Yeah, I wouldn't go anywhere near Locke at all. I think he's causing some issues. So yeah, so you sort of like think between.
So Studley's going to sort of like turn to Tornado, and he's going to say, he might be at the convention.
It's worth a look. I don't mind wandering around anyway. Having a look. I can send my friends up and have a look.
Yeah, that's what I would say. You can well actually you're probably your perception, if you're jumped into your drones, then it'll either be your perception or electronic warfare, whichever is higher, plus intuition. But it's going to be limited by the sensor rating of the drone. So that's if you're actually jumped in.
What exactly was the thing that Aaron sent us? It wasn't proof that he had been.
It was his mark.
Right.
Because he had put a mark on their comlink.
Right.
And of course, you don't know that you've got a mark on your comlink until you actually look at it.
Right.
You know, and even unless you're sort of like a decker, you know, then it's quite restrictive. So yeah, so Tornado, you've really got 3 options really. You can either just walk around, or which almost like defeats the object of being a rigger if you do that, or you can send up fly spies. Probably the best one to do. They can actually team test. So what you can actually do is use one on autopilot.
Right.
Okay, and it will roll its perception test, which is actually its pilot plus its clear sight data software, and then that would be your team test. And then if you're actually logged in, jumped into it, then it will be your perception or electronic warfare, whichever is higher, plus your intuition, and limited by the sensor of the rating of the drone. If you're going to do it remotely, then it'll be like a controller device action, and in which case it will be your electronic warfare plus your intuition, limited by your sensors. So you have sort of like a range of options.
I'll probably head back up to the room and jump into my drones and send my fly spies and send them over and do that one.
Okay, so you might let's think about this, because if you, to get your fly spies in there, they're going to have to go through doorways, aren't they?
Okay, that's true. So perhaps actually I will. So if I go across and use my access to get in, and then I'll probably queue up and go to one of the loos or something, and then do it that way.
Well, or I mean, it depends what Studley and Billy Bob's going to do, because if you actually do locate him, then you need to decide as a team what will you do then, because obviously Studley and Billy Bob, Tornado can follow him in the building, but if he left by a door, unless Tornado can actually open the door, the fly spy can't actually follow.
So, I mean, that is something that we need to think about. Is it's all very well and good finding him, but then what are we going to do?
Are we going to confront him or give him a bit of a fright again?
Yes, I mean, I think he needs to be taught the lesson that cheating and being nasty to girls is not something that a young gentleman does.
Would there be a tannoy system that we could announce over the tannoy that he's been hacking and cheating into the games, to like publicly humiliate him that way, and then cause the security to come and find him? That's an option.
The only negative about
on that way, at the moment, the only member of the team who will be able to actually do that is taking an extended nap, for which he will not be getting paid for, just so you know. And the other thing, unfortunately, the only evidence that we have against the young gentleman is the fact that he had a mark on somebody's comlink.
Billy Bob, you figured that you could probably go up to the tannoy announcer and hit him really hard. That will probably gain you access to the tannoy system as well. You could just go ba-dang like that, and he'll pass out, and then you would have access to it.
I think one of the I mean, if we can actually locate him, then I think probably our best plan of action would be to maybe have Mr. Bob have a quiet word with him somewhere, probably or hopefully off the conference floor, maybe in the latrine, and maybe get him to realise the errors of his ways, and that maybe an apology to Erin and Aaron might be in order.
No, it's one possibility. It depends how what you think Crank was up to, and whether or not he's intelligent enough to pull off something like this by himself, or whether or not you just want to tell him not to do it again, or what. I think that's. I think
Billy Bob's gonna suggest. Is there someone that we could talk to see if they keep an eye on him, so he doesn't do this sort of thing?
The other thing that I think we do need to consider is that maybe Crank is not acting on his own, and as you probably realised from our original brief, that there is another convention that is trying to take over the establishment, the Darkest Shadowcon, I believe it was called, and maybe Crank was maybe even working for them, almost like trying to make it so that Aaron and Aaron didn't get the give a good review of the Gamescom to their father.
Did anybody do a matrix search about Darkest Shadowcon?
I think didn't you do one, Chubbs?
It was either
I don't think we did.
So would you like to do one now? Because you could do a matrix search, or you can ask for contacts. It's completely up to
I don't
you.
remember whether or not we did. I'll Studley or sort of like say, I'll let me dig some deeper into this Darkest Shadowcon and see whether or not we can come up with any more information.
Okay, so just to summarise it seems that you've got various options at the moment. First of all, you need to locate him, which is the first thing you need to do. And then the next, there's really sort of like two options. It's a host. You can either say, thank you for the host, Master Jedi Obi-Wan, and the sender of Instagram pictures. I think you had 5 about Nike today. Is it Nike or Nike?
I think it depends where you are in the country.
Oh, right. I quite like the Nike. Anyway, so you need to locate him, and then you have two options. It's either that you can confront him and tell him that he's a very bad boy and not do it again, or, as Studley was saying, that if he's actually working for somebody else, then that gives you another two options. You can either convince him, this is when you bet you wish you had carrots still, and you could invade his brain and extract the information. You could either try to get him to talk, or you could follow him if he goes anywhere apart from the gaming convention, I guess. So yeah, did you do some rolls?
No, I was waiting for you to do your.
Sorry, yeah, I was just filling gaps. Oh, nice. Okay then. So you'll be pleased to know that Darkest Shadow Con is not a really bad vampire movie. It's becoming a really popular gaming convention. One of the biggest in the area, but not as big as GameCon that you're at. It's a bit elitist. I think you did have this before, because I remember telling you that it was elitist. A lot of cliques tends to use it a way to gain community status. So it's like only the best people go on to that gaming convention.
Twitch.
Well, no, I don't say that on my channel. I was saying it's a bit like role playing games. You know, there's us, and then there's the high flying people. You know, that are sort of like
the ones where everybody does a funny voice.
No, the ones that are sort of like quite elitist with the playing. Anyway, it's more about gain credibility or credits. Either or. It's you can use either words there, and it's even run by the council. That's what they're called. So it's not actually run by one person. It's like a group of people, and there is a lot of rumours that there's a lot of infighting within the council. And the only other thing that is that there are rumours floating around that Darkest Shadowcon may be trying to sabotage GameCon in an attempt that it falters with its popularity, and in which case Darkest Shadowcon can take over.
Because that's the thing that Studley's can't understand at the moment. Because I mean, it's they're both gaming conventions, and they both obviously appeal to different people. I mean, you have Gamescom, which is more about the releasing of the games and the dressing up and the thing that's happening tomorrow, which is the
LARP. Yeah.
As it doesn't seem like the Darkest Shadow Con is like that. It's more like the sort of like the top, sort of almost more like an e-sport.
Yeah, but you also the other really important thing is that if there's 2 gaming conventions, you split the gamers between 2. If there's 1 gaming convention,
you get the lot.
Yeah. And I think that's the most important thing, even though some people might say it's a bit like if there was only one MMO, that was World of Warcraft, then some people would say, I'm not playing it. But after a while, they're likely to go back to it because it's the only MMO around.
Is there only one place suitable to hold a convention?
Oh, yes. Yeah. And this is it. And
Right.
GameCon actually has because that's the big thing at the moment, isn't it? That the board is trying to decide whether or not to let GameCon stay at this location, and that's why you're looking after the Dreyfus twins, because their father.
Oh yeah,
has
I
the
knew
last,
that
the
bit,
last
but
bit.
I didn't know what was stopping Gamescom sort of like saying, well, this is on in July, and in September, Gamescom is going to have their one, if you see what I
Well,
mean.
they could do that, but what is even better is that if they, as you can imagine, is that if they can actually
If they were the only convention that was there.
imagine the headlines: GameCon crashed, no longer happening.
You've also got to bear in mind that probably a lot of those stands and stall holders and games have actually paid Gamescom to be there.
And they will probably also pay Darkest ShadowCon next year.
Yeah, they're going to pay. They want the publicity, so they're going to pay for their stands.
It doesn't matter to them, the actual company who is doing it. They're quite happy as long as they get their stands.
Billy Bob's going to turn around and ask, is there a list of names attached with this Darkest ShadowCon?
Not from the information that I was able to ascertain. Maybe our friend Mr. Locke might have been able to get more, but no.
You probably think it's a bit like Twitch in modern day and this time, because you can see how many different gamers there are on Twitch, and I think that's what the list would look like. It would just be like a huge list of like Penguin Basher 6427.
So it won't be like
Text message.
such and such COO.
No. And you can guarantee that the council members are very well protected. And Studley is right about that. Probably the only place to get that would probably be able to hack into the Darkest ShadowCon's host, when that was probably there. But the interesting thing that would also be there would be all the people's, all the players' real names and credit accounts and everything like that.
What I was thinking of is, if you got like you go on something like Wikipedia or something, you've got like who created Facebook? Mark Wickelberger.
Yeah.
And then it's got
And you're quite right. And any computer search that anybody can do with a computer skill would bring up a similar Wikipedia page, and it would have the information that Studley's just got. So that's essentially what he's got. So it's literally saying that it's run by the council.
Right, got it.
And that's it. And remember, things like Wikipedia.
Data protection.
Wikipedia is created by the people. That was my solidarity pose.
Power to the people.
Yeah, so if anybody did put a name up there, it would be a matter of seconds before hackers. You can put we can try to put Locke's name up there if we wish.
What was that BBC TV series when he used to go "Power to the people"? Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane, yeah.
got
Before everybody's was born. Okay then. So therefore you've got the plan. So you probably got a plan with Tornado to actually survey and pick it up. But the big question is, what are you going to do after that? What's Billy Bob thinking? What would you like to do with Crank?
I know what I'd like to do with Crank.
And what would that be?
He wants
deck.
Yeah. He wants to make his life hell, flush his head down the toilet, and just
I think one of the problems that we have, and although you can seem pretty menacing at sometimes, Mr. Bob, it does come down to it that you are how shall we say it, an almost lovable person, and sometimes you don't intimidate people.
Means you got a crap roll.
we would like to think. I think the only way that my plan of intimidation to work would maybe if you had some other backup as well. I don't know, maybe a picture of the last person that crossed you, a couple of black eyes and a broken nose and a bloody lip. I mean, that's quite easily got.
Billy Bob smiles and looks down at Locke.
That's what he's thinking. like gets the makeup from.
I was thinking you were actually just going to pulverize his face.
Like, pour some fake blood over his face and give him some black eyes and I don't know.
Oh.
Has he got teeth missing?
Well, not yet.
I mean that's, but
I think the only
I think the thing to look at is maybe that there is something going on a bit deeper than we originally thought, and maybe it would be interesting to see where he goes after the convention. If we can maybe find some discriminating evidence in his apartment or his hotel room, it may go towards getting Gamescom to stay at the convention hall, especially if we can provide that information to Erin and Aaron, and they can both get back at Crank and be helpful to our cause at the same time.
You just each of you roll your separate judge intention rolls. Does anybody have psychology? No. Okay.
No.
Judge intention.
Do you not have psychology, Billy Bob?
It's got a degree in it.
Yeah. 7 A levels.
Oh, 4 hits. Well, that's well done, Billy Bob. 4, 2, and 6. Okay, then. Is that your judge intention roll? Okay, Billy Bob, you actually think, because if you remember, you had a run-in with Crank as he was leaving, if you remember, and you figure he's not the sort of person who would perhaps have the brains behind something. He's more the sort of person that would do what he's told to do. Maybe for it's just everybody make a memory roll. Tornado gets 2, Studley gets 4.
Did mine roll?
Yeah, Billy Bob got 2.
Yeah. Okay, Studley, you suddenly remember something that he said when he joined the game. And he had said something about it. He had already sort of like pimped his character up.
Yes, he asked whether or not the person wanted to check his robot.
Yeah. If you remember, he said something about and you figured that probably cost some credits to do. And maybe that's... He doesn't look like the sort of person who actually has a huge amount of money, but maybe he got paid for something and that allowed him to sort of like pimp his ride.
So, the question is, was he paid to actually sabotage part of the convention, or is he getting paid for something else that we can maybe blackmail him with?
That's true.
Well,
I mean,
go for it, Tornado.
The only other thought is, one would assume that if he's part of a group, he's not going to be there on his own. So if we got Billy Bob here to lean on him a little bit, some of the other group might come. He might either then run off to the other group straight away, in which case we can follow them, or they might come and rescue him, in which case we can try and confront them there.
That's assuming that he is working as part of a group. He might be working by himself, and the money that he used to gain the upper hand and also by cheating might come from a completely different source. I think probably our best course of action would be, especially seeing we've got a day off, so to speak, would be to
intimidate,
to see where he goes once he leaves the convention. Follow him and take it from there.
So Tornado, your idea seems quite, because if Billy Bob actually sort of like threatens to rough him up, it might make him more likely to, if he is being hired by somebody, to go to them. Well, if it's just sort of like leaving the convention, he
might just go back to his hotel room or something.
Yeah, he might just go back. He might need some... I think the word people use, Billy Bob, is incentive. Maybe if he sort of like realizes that something's afoot or an arm, or
is he a foot?
then that might push him. But I think no matter what, Billy Bob, if you actually intimidate him, it might be interesting what actually happens afterwards. So if he does go somewhere afterwards, rather than just not planning ahead, what would be the plan? So if Tornado can find him, Billy Bob, you take him off, like you've already said, to the bathroom or something and make him aware. Then he sort of like leaves. What would be the plan after that to follow him?
Tornado would follow him with one of the drones, and have probably sitting in his van outside somewhere where he can, if the chap goes off,
okay,
in a taxi or another car or something, we can follow him. So we can wait for whoever else wants to come along, so Billy Bob and Studley, and then we can all get in and drive off.
Right. So that's
Or if he goes to the hotel, we can just follow him across I can follow him via drone to the hotel.
Right. So you would be
in the van. He can also follow him astrally, just in case you lose him at any point.
Yeah.
So Tornado would have one fly spy in the gaming convention and the other one on surveillance outside. And then Tornado, you can actually be fully rigged inside. You can be jumped inside your van, can't you?
Yeah.
Which means that you're safe as well. The only problem, Tornado, is how are you going to get the fly spy in?
Well, he can. It can go. It can go in with Billy Bob, can't it?
I was going to say, how big are these things? 'Cause
It's just
maybe-
Fly spy is like the size of a horsefly.
So basically, I can plant one on him and use that. You can use that to track him.
Well, yes, it can probably go in on you, Billy Bob, on your shoulder. It's better to let them fly because they're not the what's their body?
They're about as fragile as an insect.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
So if he sort of like saw it, the chances are he would just go.
Yeah,
Right.
and then Tornado will be coming to you, Billy Bob, and saying, "I want $2,000, thank you."
Yeah. Okay, and then Studley can follow, can be in the van as well, and follow him astrally if need be. Yeah.
It's just in case we lose him on the fly with one of the fly spies, because the
Good
fly
idea,
spies
yeah.
are going to be operating on their own sensors, aren't they?
Well, it depends.
It depends on how
If Tornado jumps, yeah, go on, Tornado. You can
So
explain.
yeah, if I was going to jump in, then I would be doing, I would be piloting it, as opposed to it running around on its bot or
But
dog brain.
You'll be in the van driving as well, won't you?
And that's the other option. So like if we're then following, then yeah, it would be, I could be driving, but I could have it. I assume I can be driving it with AR as well.
Well, what you would do, you would actually do is that you would be driving the vehicle, but you can probably put the fly spy onto autopilot and just give it command to follow, because it will already have attached to the I was going to say quarry, but what do you call it? The
Target.
The target, yeah, that's it. It would already attach to the target. So the only thing that would be an issue, just to warn you, is that if there was a lot of people or something like that, it might lose lock.
Going into a vehicle where he couldn't get through the door in time, or
If it went into the vehicle, then Tornado, you could just recommand the fly spy to actually follow the vehicle.
or getting onto a tube train and sort of
and in which case
you would lose it.
Yeah.
That's why.
And then Studley could
Studley
pick
would
up
be
the
there
chase.
too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so Billy Bob, you're going to be actually inside.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tornado, you're going to be rigged into your van. And you're going to have one fly spy outside, one fly spy inside, but you'll be using the one inside, jumped into it to start an extended test to try to locate. Is that the plan?
The only thing I was thinking of was I could have two fly spies inside and then use a different drone for checking outside, and then I can have the fly spies follow him with Billy Bob.
Yeah. Do you have a lock here? Do you have?
I do. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I don't know if that's a good thing to do, because it wouldn't be able to follow him onto a tube or into a taxi, but it could then follow the taxi.
I think if you've got something like the what is it, the Lockheed Optic, is that the one that you've got?
I've got the Lockheed Optic X2, which is about the size of a small bird or a small hunting bird.
Yeah, that's the same one that actually folds its wings up. Studley, you've used one of those before. You carried it for Athena.
So I could have that circling around on the outside of the convention. Then we've got two fly spies on the inside, which means we've got a higher chance of covering more ground on the inside.
And the best thing about the Lockheed Optic, yes, it's about the size of a large hawk, but it's also it receives anybody trying to spot it has a -3 to its perception test.
Do you have one drone that is specifically set up for surveillance with a better surveillance package than the rest?
The Optic X2s, it will be right. They're about the same. but one would be more for outside and one would be more for inside.
That's a no then.
And the Lockheed would be, depending on the situation, the Lockheed's faster. So if we were following him in a taxi, that would be a better option than the fly spies.
Which one has the highest pilot rating?
They've all got the same.
Yeah, because that's the maximum rating, isn't it, that you can have with your Autosoft. So
I'm not happy by leaving Evan and Aaron completely unobserved. To be quite honest, I think you should at least have one unit keeping an eye on their room.
Yeah, I've got one fly spy on their room anyway, so we've only got 2 to play with.
he has 3 in total.
Oh.
So if we had,
So would having 2 on the convention hall looking for Crank increase your chances of finding him, or is it going to be difficult controlling 2 at once?
No, it'll be fine, because what will happen is that one will actually be running on autopilot. So that one will actually roll its pilot plus its clear sight soft, and it will do like a team test. So imagine that Tornado is actually in one, but he's receiving the information from the other one as well. So it's almost like cross-referencing everything. So then that'll give information, or it's taking in a different side of the convention, and then he will roll either his perception or electronic warfare plus his intuition, limited by the sensor rating of the drone that he's in. So you are right, Studley, to get a really good drone, for surveillance, the first thing you do is you up its sense, you get as maximum sensors as you can. But the other thing that you do is increase, because that increases the limit. And then what you do is that you increase the pilot skill, and because drones can only carry a number of autosoft equal to half its pilot rating rounded up. So if you got a pilot rating of 1, you can only have 1 autosoft in it. If you got a pilot rating of 3, then you can have 2 autosofts running. But the maximum autosoft rating is the rating of the pilot. So if you got pilot 3, then the maximum ClearSight software that you can actually run is 3.
So you need something with a pilot of 6 so that it can have.
Correct. Yeah, and then you can up. You can then it can run 3 autosofts to start off with, because it's half its pilot rating.
Yeah.
Plus the maximum it can carry in their ratings is 6. So you can actually have something like ClearSight 6, which would be the maximum. And the advantage of that is that on autopilot, it rolls its pilot, which would be 6, plus its ClearSight, which would be 6. So it would actually roll 12 dice, but it's still limited by its sensors.
So what?
Sorry, just one more thing. The other thing is that the drones have a suite of sensors. So say for example it's actually using things like infrared, radar, sonic, etc. So for you yourself, I might say roll this, and you might have to have 5 hits to see it. A drone might only need to have 2 or 3 hits because of its sensor package.
So what limits the increasing your the pilot, etc.? Is it done
Money.
by it's just money? It's not done by availability?
Well, no, because all drones come with a standard package,
Right.
which is 3. Now, there's no rules actually in the core rulebook to extend your pilot skill, but a pilot of drones. But there is some in Rigger 4. Rigger 5, sorry, or Rigger 2.0. But the downside of it, just so you know, not that I would love to play a Rigger, is that they have different ratings. So like rating 6, I'm just trying to find it. Rating 6 is actually the same as what am I? Military style.
Right.
Okay.
So let's just find it. There's something I can't remember. It's there's a table in the rigger book that actually specifies what it is. I'm just trying to find it.
Right. So I would probably suggest that you
Yeah,
you-
you talk and I'll just find
that
it.
you actually have two drones, both sent in with Mr. Bob, searching for Crank to give us a better chance of finding him, with Billy Bob's eyes on the ground and two sets of eyes. I presume that they both have two eyes, or do they? Yeah, in the sky, and we should be able to find him pretty quick. Once
That's what I
the
was thinking.
quarry has been located, then it will be up to Mr. Bob to tell him the error of his ways. Preferably, this should be done somewhere not in direct sight of 100 or so people.
Maybe in that, as you suggested, either in the gents or in one of those corridors that we confronted the person in yesterday.
Yes, so just to let you know, yes, it is limited by availability. So a rating 6 pilot, the availability of it is 24F.
Nah.
So you would have to have 24 successes, 24 hits, and it's forbidden. Civilian pilot programs are 2 or 1. Restricted security pilots are 3 to 4, while military grade pilots are 5 to 6.
Right.
And then Autosoft's rating is availability is the rating multiplied by 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and then once Mr. Bob has got him by himself and has a word with him, then we could see what happens next. I would probably advise Mr. Bob that lowered tones, barring of teeth, maybe the ejection of your hand spur might help your cause, and
So stab him in the leg.
no,
Not a convention.
I love that. It's just sort of like Studley makes someone this stab him in the leg.
just threaten him.
Maybe sort of like see how sharp your blade is, and like stroke the blade and that sort of thing. Test it.
Studley wants to go on to. He wants to do a quick matrix search and look at news feeds and come up with a picture of a boy, probably Crank's age, that's, I don't know, been in got beaten up on the streets, or the type of thing.
Yeah.
This happened.
Okay, roll your matrix. I think the other thing, Billy Bob, that you can use for your advantage is that you probably know some things that he's not aware that you know. I.e., 4 successes. Yeah, you can find something that similar. That would be the number of hits.
Okay, so I want to once I found something sort of like something suitable, I want to download it onto a bit of electronic paper that Studley carries.
Okay.
And he'll give it to Billy Bob, and he'll say, "Gosh, you could maybe even say that this is the last person that crossed you."
Cool. And Billy Bob, you also have various information that you know that he hacked the Aaron's computer. And you also know what his mark looks like. So it's almost like you have that bit of persuasive power as well as what Studley's giving you to actually sort of like make it a little bit more realistic. Okay, guys, it's past halfway, so let's have a quick 10-minute break there, and then afterwards we will head into the area. So with a drone on Billy Bob's shoulder, two drones on, one van parked outside, and Studley, you'll be in the van,
Mm-hmm.
and Tornado, you'll be in the front seat,
That's right.
hot simmed into it. So just remember when you're doing your rolls to make sure that you get your hot sim. You'll be in rig, but remember you'll also get your vehicle control rig because you're in there. Okay, so let's have countdown. Let's just have a quick 10-minute break. And we will be back. Let me just save that, see what happens. And oh no, it's actually saying like 3 hours.
What's 3 hours?
How much we've got.
I can't play that long. I've got to go to bed at.
I mean, I could, but
I don't know why it's not refreshing. Anyway, we'll be back in 10 minutes, so please don't go away.
Not 3 hours.
No, 10 minutes. Okay, here we go. I've been thinking about a design for my channel. You have to remember, I'm not an artist or a creative person. I have the programs, but not the expertise. I don't have the money to hire a graphic or concept designer, or to take the time off work to attend art classes or creative retreats. So I had to come up with something myself. It had to represent my channel and me. It had to be easy and yet adaptable. And so, after much thought and crunches up of pieces of paper, I came up with the following design. It's not detailed, it's not graphically stunning, it's not colourful, it's not complex. It's simple because it reflects me and my skills. What is it? Well, to represent me in Wills, it's just an eye. I've pressed the button, so we are now live, and so are they. Yes, we are back.
You didn't press the button when you were doing episode 1, did you?
No, I didn't. I forgot. But it's really nice because my Stream Deck now flashes recording, so there's a light, and so I can tell that we're actually recording it, so which is really good. And they fixed my cup, my glass.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, do you want to know what it was? On OBS, I had clicked it to shut down source when not visible, because that's what they tell you to do with your big overlays. So when you're not on that scene, it's not running, so it doesn't sort of like continually run them in the background, because therefore if you got a follow and it was operating somewhere else, you would still get the noise. So once I turn that off, it doesn't, it's actually above Chug's head at the moment, but once that happens, then it no longer empties. So I can get it really full and then let things explode all over the place, which is nice.
Is that what happens?
Yeah, I quite like it actually, because there's some nice animations for them, and they all, if you notice, they all sort of like come in separate. There's all different stuff in there. Okay, let's get on and see how far we can get before it's time to finish. So, if I'm right in assuming, we're going to have a bit of. Let me just get that up. So people are now off in. So one drone on. Two drones on Billy Bob.
2 drones, Billy Bob. 1 drone. The Lockheed will be flying Overwatch.
Yeah.
Just in case. I'm going to be sitting in the van and I'm jumped into the drones.
Cool.
I think Studley's sitting in one of the back seats of the van, keeping an eye out and then ready to astral project.
Well, I mean, Studley's going to be in there, but he's just going to be sort of like checking news feeds and stuff like that.
Do you want to know what you need to, I don't know if anybody's been listening to the Complex Action podcast. I'm listening to the actual play from right at the beginning, and their mage is an alchemist, and it makes things like potions and says drink this just before you go into combat, and it's like an armor spell.
Well, that's what, if you remember originally when I was making up Phase, that's what he was going to be. He was going to be a dual.
Yeah, but I thought that it's really good. He sort of like has little potions and everything. It's cool. Okay then. So Studley, sorry, are you astrally projecting, or are you just sat in the car?
At the moment, he's because he's no idea how long it's going to take for them to find him, and he can't be of any use on the conference floor, because he's not going to be able to see Crank if he was astrally percepting.
Okay, so that
actually projecting. So he's going to wait until they've got it, and then he'll get a fix then. Plus, of course, he's limited limited on how long he can keep projecting. So
it's quite a lot, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So okay then. So let's get into the convention. So Billy Bob, you walk in with the 2 fly spies on, which is totally, nobody stops you. If you remember, there's very limited security here, and everybody's sort of like walking around with weapons in any case, because it's all part of their cosplay outfit. So you look quite at home, and once you get in, you notice that the 2 fly spies sort of like detach themselves from your shoulders and sort of like fly up. Is there anything you want to be doing, Billy Bob?
Apart from just looking out for Crank, that's it.
Okay, and are you just stood somewhere, or are you going?
He's as soon as he gets into like the main hall area, he's gonna stop and just scan, and then he's just gonna pace up and down until he like spots him.
Right, so just like walking up and down the aisles, taking a slight look at something so you don't look suspicious, but keeping an eye out. Okay then, so roll your perception then.
Studley's going to remind him that
he's going to say, don't forget that last time he had a T-shirt which had the letters LEET on it, but the E's were back to front for some unknown reason. So it was a second.
It was actually this.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, I got a bit of cauliflower stuck on my keyboard. So you actually have plus one to your dice roll. Not that it matters, but just roll 1d6 because of the information. I'm just using it as a team test to help Tornado. So far, he's not helping at all, but that's probably because he's down at the. No, he's not. Okay, then.
Toys and costumes.
Okay, so roll your auto drone one first. So that'll be your pilot plus your clear sight, and it's limited by what's your sensor rating on that? 3.
It's 3, yeah.
Yeah. So pilot plus clear sight.
There's no hot sim in that one. That's everything.
Yeah, just roll one more dice because you get that added bonus that the characteristics.
He can't help because he's limited by his sensor and he's already got.
Oh yeah, sorry. So that'll be so on yours now. It's which is higher, your perception skill or your electronic warfare skill?
Perception.
Okay, so roll your perception, add your intuition, and your limit will be 4. And you've got 3 extra dice to roll for it.
Situation modifiers plus 3.
It'll probably won't let you change the limit, but we can work it out. 4, yeah. So that's absolutely fine. So that's you gain 4 successes. Let me just see where that. Yeah, so it's about 10 minutes of everybody looking around. Then you actually see Crank. He's actually got his little shopping trolley with him again, and he's actually still wearing the same Leet T-shirt on, and he sort of like he seems to be going up to stores and then going, "You look really stupid in that. Call yourself a barbarian," and then laughing and scoffing at him and moving on to the next one. And you notice that he's got some shorts on at the moment, some just above the knee shorts, and then he's got his socks as well, but they're pulled right the way up, so they're sort of like halfway up his calf, and he's wearing sandals as well, just to sort of
Does it look like this person here who, on the screen that looks like a cross between Spider-Man and Michael Jackson?
No, he's sort of like, and then he sort of like has his sandals on, etc. Is this somebody's hair here?
Yes.
I think it's a wig.
I was just trying to figure out what was going on.
You got that. You got the Transformer.
Did you see that thing I put on Facebook with the little kids that were Transformers and they sat down? It was awesome. Yeah, I said to my sister, "Can you make one for our young niece? Because I think it'd be fantastic." I would just say, "No, go down, make a car, stand up, make a car." Make a car. So right, yeah. So about 10 minutes, then you see him, and he's over by the like it's all to do with Neil the Orc Barbarian sort of like standard. He's just making fun of these people. So Billy Bob, you get the location, and Tornado pings it to you.
Okay, so Billy Bob's gonna stroll up on him.
Yeah, how are you going to do this? Is there going to be sort of like physical moving? Because it is probably not a good idea to challenge him in the.
Yeah, no, I don't think. Yeah, a bit too crowded to like grab hold of him.
Yeah.
And take him to the bathroom. That's a bit weird. So he's probably going to go up to him and say, "We need to talk."
Yeah, and he sort of like looks around and goes, "Go away, orc man. You're very smelly."
I know what you've been up to.
Oh, I've heard that one before.
and he's going to tell him about the little cog symbol.
Oh yes, his mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
So roll your intimidation, and you can have +2 to your roll. This might be a good opportunity to edge it.
Yeah, I was just.
If you pre-edge it, I think pre-edging gives you best roll for it, doesn't it?
That. Oh, I could have just done that. Okay, never mind. Intimidation +2, you said.
Yeah. And then pre-edge
Is he
it.
doing this on the conference floor?
Yeah.
At the moment, yeah.
He's not pulling anything out or anything like
Yeah,
that.
I'm just having words.
He's
Sorry,
just
what was it?
+2. Yeah.
I think the thing that you've got to remember about intimidation, though, is the more intimidating you are, the better modifiers you're going to.
Yeah, but he's done what he can do. He's done. He's sort of like said what he knows about him. He's mentioned his mark, etc. And he can't really. This might encourage him to go with him. Yeah, two successes on a pre-edge roll. That was pretty good, isn't it?
That's all I can get.
Yeah. So he sort of like goes, "How do you know about my computer, Mark?"
He's gonna say, "Follow me now."
Yeah. Are you going to ask him to follow you, or are you sort of like going to put your arm round him and encourage him?
Kind of a bit of both. If he doesn't, if I think that he's not gonna follow me, then he's gonna reach out, grab him.
Yeah, you probably think that the former, because he's likely just to turn around and go the other way. So it's probably a lot better to sort of like encourage him.
Yeah,
along.
So
yeah,
he's like got his arm round him like a matey hug.
Yeah,
thing, but a bit tighter.
Yeah, just make an unarmed combat. You're not.
Right.
I'm just seeing how strong your grip is on him. You're not doing damage or anything like that. I just need to see how much your how much of a grasp you have. Don't forget to take your edge off.
Oh crap! Okay.
I just wasn't quick enough. Yeah, just roll it again without your edge on. I always thought unarmed combat went on strength and not agility. That's my bad. It's damage that's agility. Is strength, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll my strength? Because it's more of a
No.
strength.
I was just I just had it. I was just confused in my head. I always thought it was strength, but obviously it's not. It's agility. So yeah. So he sort of
agility.
Yeah. So he sort of like goes, ow, ow, oh, wait, where are we going?
Special place.
He sort of like looks up and sees you sort of like pushing him towards the toilet. He sort of like goes, I'm not that kind of person.
We'll see.
He sort of like frantically sort of like looks around in an attempt to sort of like attract somebody's attention. Hang on.
Has he got his little briefcase, the little cart thing with him?
Yeah, he's pulling it along with him.
Okay.
He sort of like goes, can somebody help me, please? And everybody's just sort of like looking at it as if, and you notice somebody sort of like scoffs at him as if to say, ha. Says yourself, right, cranky baby. And yeah, so you take him into the gentleman's lavatories. What would you like to do once you get in there? Please remember, this is a mature, this is a family stream.
First of all, he wants to make sure that the cubicles and the toilets are all clear.
Yeah, it's quite busy because obviously it's the gaming convention, but you sort of like come in and you find a cubicle right the way down at the far end that you can sort of like push him in with his trolley and shut the door behind him.
Okay, so is there a lock on the
Yeah,
toilet?
it's like one of those little
No, I mean on the actual main toilet door, so no one else can get in.
No, and you probably don't want to do that because that will probably attract more attention when you come out. You're probably safe in as long as you don't make too much noise.
Maybe the disabled dudes would be better.
Either way, we're here now. So okay, so I've pushed him into the cubicle. I've locked the door behind me. He's going to turn around and say, "What's your game? What are you up to?"
He says, I'm not up to anything. You pushed me into this toilet.
He's gonna extend his hand blade and gently stroke his face with it.
Yeah, he sort of goes, I don't know what you're on about. What do you want me to say?
The truth.
The truth about what?
What you doing? Why are you doing?
I'm a gamer. I've come here to game.
So why are you tagging people?
Tagging people? What do you mean?
I know that you've tagged people. I've seen your cog.
Well, who have I tagged?
He's gonna give names.
As in the twins' names.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just says, no. I was told to do that.
By who?
I don't know.
He's gonna punch the wall.
Yeah. So also, with or without your hand blade.
Without the hand blade, he's gonna extract it and punch the wall. He's gonna go back in and he's gonna hit the wall.
Yeah, so you sort of like hit the wall, and there's quite a resounding thud, and he sort of like, I honestly don't know. Somebody told me to do it and paid me 10,000 credits for it.
He's gonna ask how they got in contact. So he's got how did they get in touch?
Okay, roll your intimidation roll.
Right. Okay.
You can have +4 to the roll now, and you can decide whether or not you want to pre-edge it or not.
I've only got one
used it.
All right. Oh, bless.
Plus equals 4. Ooh.
Your success is coming. One success.
Yes.
Yeah, he sort of like says, honestly, I don't know who it was at all. You can make a judge intention roll if you wish to see whether or not he's telling the truth.
Okay, he's gonna do that. He's not gonna be very good. He's gonna judge intention. At the same time, he's gonna pull out the picture.
Yeah, you figure he is actually telling the truth. You don't think he does know, but when you pull out the picture and show it to him, the colour sort of like drains from his face.
So he's gonna say how are you gonna get in touch with these with this person?
I don't. Roll your intimidation roll. Now you can have. Hang on. You'll have. With everything, you'll have +5, but because you're actually rolling the skill again, you will have -1 to it, so you're down to +4.
+4 again. Cool. +4.
Yeah, he sort of like says, I don't. He always calls me. Please let me go, Mister. You do notice, Billy Bob, that his voice is getting somewhat louder, and you can see from underneath the cubicle that there are people sort of like using the bathroom at the moment. And your judge intention roll, you had 3 successes, so you think he's probably telling the truth.
Okay, I want to find out how. Do you know? No, do you know what? I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna wait till the bathroom clears. I'm gonna tell him to keep quiet. till the bathroom clears, and then I'm gonna let him run off and see what he see where he goes.
Okay, so Tornado, I'm assuming that you've parked one of your fly spies outside the toilet.
So yeah, both of them are sort of doing, the sort of thing that flies do. So they're just sort of like flying in eccentric egg-shaped circles, sort of like quite far apart, but hovering over the
Yeah, they can actually just hover and point directly at them, which would give you a better chance of actually picking Crank up when he comes
Well, okay.
out.
One of them will be doing that, but one of them would have sort of like parked itself on the ceiling, not the ceiling, on the like above the door frame, but high enough so somebody can't go squish.
Okay, what's that?
Looking at-
What's that purpose of that drone? What's that
Well-
drone doing?
That's looking out for Crank as it comes out. Well, they're both doing that, but I'm just trying to think of making them look a bit more natural instead of just a fly standing still.
Yeah, I mean, in this place, there's plenty of flies and bugs around it. It's fine. So Crank comes out, and he looks rather sort of like harassed, and he sort of like immediately heads across the convention floor, and he's immediately heading off to the main exit, or the main entrance, which is also the exit.
Okay, so Tornado will follow with both drones as far as he can to the exit. If the door opens at the same time, he's going to try and get the drones through at the same time as the main door opens.
Okay.
He's also going to raise over the comms, say he's on his way out the main entrance, and then he's going to see where his Lockheed optic is.
Okay, so you're jumping. So both your fly spies are now on automatic. If you're jumping out of one and you're jumping into your Lockheed optic, okay?
Yeah,
So
and I'm going to make sure that's circling around so I can pick him up on his way out.
yeah. So Billy Bob, what's your plan now?
Billy Bob's gonna say over the comms, "Do you need me to stay back and look after the kids?"
Remember, your mission is not to actually.
No, we need you with us, Mr. Bob. There's a drone monitoring the. We're not their bodyguards. We're just there to ensure that they have a good time when they're on the convention. It's an off day today, so you might be better suited. Your skills might be better suited with us rather than sat watching telly.
Then Billy Bob's going to turn around and say, "On my way."
Yeah, after that lengthy explanation from Studley, so when Billy Bob's going, do I go? Do I stay? Do I go? He's like, right, okay then. So you're off, and you can follow Crank. He's sort of like, he looks in a really bad mood at the moment, and he's pushing people out the way, and muttering by himself. And yeah, Tornado, you suddenly think your Lockheed is in position, ready to sort of like land down, but I'm not too sure whether or not you want to jump into your two fly spies and leave them and get them to land on Big.
Yeah, so he will
Billy
do
Bob,
that.
sorry. Yeah, so
he'll send a message to Billy Bob. So he'll jump out of as before, instead of jumping straight from the Lockheed into the fly spies, he'll come out and then send a message to Billy Bob to say, my two fly spies will be landing on you.
Yeah. So you operate a lot quicker than even Billy Bob in meat space. So you can quickly jump into each one of them and land them on Billy Bob's shoulders as he sort of like moves out of the convention. And then Billy Bob, I'm assuming you're heading back around to the Bulldog, which is Tornado's van, and
Yes,
then the Lockheed will actually pick up the Crank and start to you can order your Lockheed now to follow, using its dog brain, and then you can actually pursuing your bulldog once Billy Bob's sort of like in it.
Yeah. So
Cool.
if we do that, in that case, I'll have the van sort of like drive around to meet Billy Bob out the front.
Yeah, cool. And so you head off. Studley, are you astrally projecting at this point or not?
Once we're on the move, and he's able to get a fix on the drones, then that's when he'll go into astral and follow in astral.
And get a fix. Oh, you mean the drone get a fix on Crank?
Yes,
Yeah. So
I'm really gonna. I'm not going to be able to follow Crank because I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to be able to see him in astral, aren't I?
Yeah. Well, you'll see his outline. Yeah. He's not. Just making a sensing roll for me.
Oh, hang on. Picked the wrong thing because my thing moved.
Yeah, he's not magically active, but he does have a cyberware. He has a data jack in him, and that's about it. You know, he's probably had it since he was quite young. So the Lockheed is actually tracking Crank, and everybody else is in the van. Sorry, so are you projecting then, Studley?
I am going to, yes.
And then just follow.
I'm going to follow the drone, and I'm going to try to keep an eye on Crank as well.
Yeah. Okay then. So you could.
The only thing I'm going to have to be able to sort of like pinpoint is going to be his data jack.
Yeah, and you probably have a bit of issues if he sort of like meets a whole lot of other data jack people.
Yeah.
But you can always go back to the van and trust the Lockheed to sort of like track it. And he seems to be walking in quite a hurry, but he also seems to be quite purposeful. As if he knows where he's going to, and he wants to get there in quite a rush. And he goes along the various streets, and then the main streets, and then he suddenly turns down almost like a back alley, and then turns down another one and another one, and he seems to be going deeper and deeper off the beaten track, and more into what could probably be classed as unsavoury neighbourhood. And after about 40 minutes walking, and you guys are following and tracking him in the van, he seems to walk past an entrance to a subway, and it's all boarded up. It appears to be like an old subway, and it's all boarded up, but just past there's a door. And outside the door, there's sort of like two sort of like what appears to be sort of like normal everyday gangers, and they seem to have just roll your perception test on your Lockheed, so it'll just be its pilot plus its clear sight.
Yeah. Pilot plus clear sight. Oh, come on, there we go.
Yeah, you managed to zoom in with the Lockheed camera, and you notice that on their T-shirt they're quite proud of sort of like showing off, and it seems to be like a numeral 9. But it's drawn in such a way that it's an upside down 6, if that makes sense to people. I'll just draw it on the page so you can see it. So it's like that. Can you see that?
Okay.
So it's not like a 9 that would have a straight edge. You know, if you turn it upside down, it would look like a 6. And it's just sort of like, it's quite, it's written in green like that on. And he sort of like comes up, and they're quite big compared to him, and he's obviously talking to them, and they sort of like push him, a bit, and then he brings something out of his pocket and sort of like flashes it at the two things, and they sort of like cock their heads like that. They almost like seem that they're sighing, and then they open the door and Crank goes in.
Is there any as we're driving past? Oh, Studley's going to have to come back into his body.
Yeah, cool.
But as we're driving past, is there anything? Is there anything above the door? Does it look like it's commercial, or does it look like it's run down?
It looks like it's probably part of like maybe the office connected to the subway. Maybe it definitely looks like it's some kind of disused access to the subway, maybe an old-fashioned terminal or something like that. And this looks like it might have been like an office, or maybe like a taxi rank place or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll probably Tornado will probably he'll park order the Lockheed to perch on a lamppost somewhere close by, so it can keep an eye on the main door.
Yeah, it's probably actually better to hover, because it can hover quite high up, and if it's perched on a lamppost, it's a bit like in more plain view.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So yeah, he'd do that, and then he'll probably park up half, sort of like a few doors, not like 5-6 doors down, so that we can still see the entrance, but it doesn't look like that we've stopped right outside to make it
that's cool.
Less obvious, basically.
Yeah, so there you've got this situation that there's two sort of like guards. They're sort of like gangers outside the front.
Is there so there's the door. Is there any windows that have been are the windows boarded up, or
yeah,
are they? Is there any that have sort of like been partly smashed or anything like that?
No, if you imagine he walked past a subway entrance, that also just like an underground entrance to the London Tube or something like that, but it was all boarded up, as if those big corrugated doors have been shut. And then just past it, there is like an office door, and then that's it. You're not too sure whether or not how it's connected or anything. I'm just dragging your. I don't want to put you all on until you've decided.
I mean, as we're sat there in the Bulldog, I presume we're parked sort of like down the street, sort of like keeping an eye on it. And Studley wants to after hearing about the sign that's on the gangers, he wants to see whether or not he can find anything about them on the. Nobody's got anything to do with gangs, have they?
No.
So he wants to do a computer search and see whether or not he can find anything on any information on a gang. Maybe looking at the news feed.
Does anybody have anything like Streetwise or gang? Any sort of like gang terminology or anything like that, or not?
No.
Just the girlfriend.
Right. Okay. She's probably not around at the moment. Okay then. So, I
mean, he'll look for.
I was just looking to see whether or not we could augment the role. That's what I was planning on doing. But that's absolutely fine. I don't know why, but I can't see why. Oh yes, that's fine. I was just wanting to see whether or not I can augment the roll. That was also.
Where about are we? We're still in Southside. Have we gone back down to? Are we near the docks or?
No, you're actually in Central, aren't you? Because that's where the game convention was.
Okay, so I mean, he's going to use stuff like that to help him in his search. He's going to look for news feeds on gangs.
Yeah. Okay then. Yeah. Do your
in Central with anything that might have 9 or the symbol of a.
yeah. Okay. Do your roll. Yeah. Yeah, you sort of like search through all the gang sort of like information, and not even with that wonderful number of successes, there seems to be no reference to a gang or anything connected with gangs in the sense of anything to do with the number of 9. I'm going to just put you on to the map. And it's just so you can see what you can see rather than I know you're not actually there, so don't worry. I'm not thinking. It's just so you can sort of like see what the setup is in, and then hopefully you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Let me just move you on to visualize it. Right, so can you see that? What can people see?
So I can see the 2 people stood in front of a door.
Yeah. So.
And then what's this bit here?
And that's just sort of like the end of a dead alleyway.
Right, and this bit is the entrance to the.
That's the entrance to the. That's a boarded up entrance that looked like it had swing gates, and the other boarded up entrance that you can't see is down here. So it's just sort of like you came past it down there, and then this is the entrance, the door into that where Crank went. And I'm assuming you're not actually there at the moment, so don't worry about that. It's just what you can see round about. So you're not. I'm just putting it there because you can see it from the van. Yeah. So what's going to be what's going to be the plan?
Well, we can either try and talk our way in. That's one way, or and as he looks around, sort of like out the main windscreen, and because the windows are slightly tinted one way, so you can see out but not see in. He's going to look around sort of like and go. I mean, it's probably not the best place for a firefight to force our way in, but it doesn't look.
I would prefer if we maybe had an insight of maybe what was on the other side of that door.
Mm. That would be useful.
So the options for that currently, the only person who can actually get through that door would be you, Studley, if you astrally projected.
Yes, or well, I mean, we got 3 options from what I can see. I can astrally project, but that's not going to give me an insight of much what's through it.
Correct.
I can use a clairvoyance spell.
Yeah.
Or I could cause the door to open, and then once it's open, we could then maybe get a
drone or 2.
A drone in.
Yeah.
Fly spy.
I think with all that information, say for example, if you do get a drone in there, then it's. I think you need to think one step further, i.e., what's the plan? You know, is the plan to go in and find Crank? Is the plan to go in and see who's behind the operation? Can you say what is the plan now that you've followed Crank here?
I mean, the thing that I don't understand, or the thing that Studley doesn't understand, is that Crank didn't seem to know anything. According to Billy Bob, Crank didn't know anything else from what he was given. He didn't know who had paid him the 10 grand to do the.
Yeah. So okay then. So I think is that the idea then that you don't need to follow him because you followed him to here. So what's the plan now? Is the plan to go in and find him? Is the plan to see what's in here and what he might be doing here? I mean, obviously, from the first bit, the gangers, he's flashed something at them and then he got in.
So that means he's either part of their gang or affiliated with them, or
He could have
maybe
made
it's
him.
not a gang at all. Maybe it's something to do with the other gaming convention.
could be.
So what?
I think we need to get in there and see what's behind the door. I mean, we know that Crank's gone in there. He's gone in there for probably maybe to report that somebody's onto him.
Okay, so so you got three options, haven't you? Well, you can either astral project, clairvoyance, or somehow manage to open the door and get a drone in there, or take out the gangers and go in.
Right. Well, before we do that, I mean, Studley will do a clairvoyance spell.
Cool. What force is that at? Oops.
I'll do it at 4/6.
Okay. So that'll be your spell casting plus magic, won't it? I don't think I have any negative rolls about that, don't I? The spell
No.
is a detection spell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it detection? Clairvoyance, yeah, here we go. How many successes did you get?
I got 4 successes.
Clairvoyance, complex action, subject cannot use null vision.
It all depends on whether or not it's lit. So he's going to start it sort of like it just in front of the boarded up subway thing.
Yeah, so I'll move you through the door, and then you will be able to see what you see.
So this is another door.
Correct. Yeah.
So he'll move down this way. And does this look like it goes round and heads towards the subway?
Yeah.
Is that another door at the end?
Yes, it's exactly what it looks like.
Okay, and is there there's nobody else here?
No, it's
There's
complete.
nobody in this.
It's complete. It's exactly how it is at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, exactly how it is.
Okay. So, seeing that, Studley's going to go back to the.
I'll move you back because I don't know whether or not you'll be able to move through the door.
I couldn't get past it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because it's a door.
Okay. So, Studley's going to say,
It is. It was lit in there, by the way.
What did it look like? Maybe people have been dossing in there. Did it?
No, the table, as the table looks like. I mean, it looks like it's being used. It wasn't untidy. It was untidy, but it wasn't like a hovel. It looked like quite organised and quite well, maintained.
She's going to say, I can only assume that maybe it goes down to maybe the abandoned station. There was nobody. There was nobody through it. There was a couple of other doors, but I think we need to.
Would there be an access tunnel somewhere so we can get in? If it's an abandoned station, would we be able to get in a different way, get in through a maintenance hatch and then come in further down to get past the main door?
I mean, we could spend ages trying to do that, and then find out it's not an abandoned station. I think our best option is to go straight through the door where the guards are. I didn't see them unlock it when Crank went through.
That's right. So then, in that case,
Crank did flash something, if you remember.
He showed something to them, did he not?
Yeah, he did.
so the next question is: if we're going to go through the front door, are we going to try and talk our way in, or are we going to go in somewhat with a bang? I mean, I think we should probably try and talk our way in first, because we are in Central, even if it is a slightly dodgier part of Central.
I think the key thing of doing a bluff though is to have at least certain information
that would make it
you can use to your advantage. I can't go up and say, "Oh, hello, we're here for the game," and they go, "No, this is a crack den."
It's a shame that you didn't see what he flashed. That would have been beneficial.
I think I think we take out the guard silently and then see what's on the other side.
Okay then. So, Tornado, what will you be doing?
Well, at that, Tornado's going to say, "Well, I have a few toys that we might be able to use. Sort of like he's gonna press a little hidden button underneath the under his dash, and a little smuggler's compartment will open with a few sort of gadgets and a few guns and that sort of thing in. So
Sniper rifle?
No sniper rifles, I'm afraid, but there's a nice silenced submachine gun with some gel rounds or some lethal rounds, depending what we're doing."
So Tornado, is the plan that you're going in your meat body, or are you rigging from outside, or what's the plan for yourself?
Well, I think we need to decide before that. I think we need to decide who's actually going to go in, because.
So obviously Billy Bob's going in because that's what he does. So, and that's why what are you doing as the rigger? Are you going in, or are you going to rig from outside? Because out of everybody, you have the most options.
Yeah.
Because Studley can only do one of two things, if I'm right, Studley. You can either go in physically or go in astrally, can't you?
Yeah, Studley's going in.
Yeah. So I know Billy Bob has to go in because that's his job. But you have the most options available to you.
Okay. I mean, the other option is I can go in physically, in which case the van's going to be sitting here on its own, or I can go in a drone. I do have a combat drone with me, but just the one.
So, which one are you going to?
It would be one of the Dobermans, which has got sort of a cloth over the back. So that's my. And I gestured to that and say, I do have a combat drone in here, so I can come in with that, or I can leave that here and sit and wait. And if you need more combat backup, I can send that in rather fast to come and give you backup. It depends.
A submachine gun.
Which one do you want to do as a rigger?
I think to try and avoid
combat?
Try and avoid combat. I will sit in the van, be the go-to guy in case we need to make a quick escape, or I can then send my Doberman in if we need.
So are you
backup.
are you sending your Doberman in?
It's going to stand ready for. Yeah, no, it won't go in straight away, but it will follow to give support backup.
Right. So you're going in with a drone. So let's just do this, and then we know
It's gonna be awesome.
Is it tracked?
It's not. No, it's
No.
the
but
it's the dog one.
it just allows it to have an
It can
icon.
do stairs and stuff like that, though, can't it?
It's a walker drone, so I assume so. Hang on, let me just double check. It's a while since I looked at them.
How heavy is this thing? If need be, I can carry.
I think the best suggestion would be I'll sit in the passenger seat of the van. If you walk towards them, Billy Bob, pretending to be drunk, then when you get close,
the Doberman is tracked.
Oh, the Doberman is tracked. Okay.
Yeah, this is a tracked perimeter patrol drone, can secure its designated area effectively during the night or day or night condition. It comes equipped with a standard weapon mount. This drone is operated with pilot groundcraft skill.
So we can use that if we need to, but it's if we're going into a subway, thinking about it, it's probably not the best place to send it. So I mean, I can go in physically if you want me to. I'm not as good as a combatant as Billy Bob here.
I think Tornado,
You need to make
you need to make your decision.
I'm going to tell you what to do with them.
Billy Bob, well, let's come to you. I presume you're going to go in.
Yeah, Studley's still saying about the plan of action to take out the guards. He's saying that Billy Bob should walk towards them, maybe, I don't know, singing a song as if you're drunk, and then when you get there, sort of like stumble a bit, lean against the side, and when you get to them, knock one unconscious.
Okay then. And
Killing is not the word, not the thing until we know what we're up against.
so you'll need to call shot on your unarmed combat. And Studley, what's your going?
Studley's going to get into the passenger seat of the van. He's going to say to Billy Bob, Billy Bob, you take the one on the left.
So the one down at the south.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going to make Billy Bob hold out his left hand a couple of times just so that he knows which one he's going to.
So Billy Bob's going to go for this one, but yeah,
and hopefully, if I'm in the passenger seat,
you can see the other
I
one.
can
Yeah.
see that one, so that I'll be able to cast a spell. And then as Billy Bob gets up to the other one to take him out, I'll knock the other one out.
Okay then. So Tornado, what's your plan of action going to be?
So at the moment, to try and not avoid undue attention, he's going to be prepping the Doberman in the back of the van. He's going to be in the back of the van, ready to let it out if it's needed for the moment.
Okay, so let's move on then. So Billy Bob, you sort of like do your drunkard effect up to this one down here. So roll your unarmed combat skill. As you sort of like come towards him, the two gangs sort of go, yeah, what are you doing? And which song are you singing, Billy Bob? I need a rendition.
I can't remember. It's is it Paint Your Wagons?
Paint Your Wagon. Wow. I thought it was going to be Show Me the Way to Go Home or something.
Yeah.
I'm tired of
one of his old army songs.
Yeah. What you don't know what you
was born.
I don't wonder. You actually did sound like him then as well. Excellent. So you get close, and then so they're sort of like, oh, what are you doing here, Mister? You can't come round here. You sort of like stagger up, and then you're in sort of like combat range with him now. So whack your unarmed combat skill. Remember to subtract 4 because you're pulling the shot.
Okay.
Pulling the blow. So this is going to be non-lethal damage since you declared already. I think it's -4, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so hang on a minute. Let me just roll. Let me just get my first ganger up.
It's still going in the drunken thing. He's going, what are you looking at?
Yeah, so he's going to because he's quite surprised. He's on his guard, but he's not expecting you to sort of like throw a punch at him, you know. So you sort of like come up, and then all of a sudden you sort of like go bash into his face. I'm just finding his armor. That's what I'm just checking. Yeah, so he just has an armored vest on. So 9, 17. So you would do what? 12 stun. He gets 5 successes, which takes it down to 7. 7 stuns. So you sort of like go bang into his face, and he sort of goes poof back against the wall, but he seems to be up. Studley, you're
and at
next.
the same time as Billy Bob goes bang, Studley he's sat in the passenger seat, and he just goes like that and just throws a sort of like the weakest, pontiest punch ever.
Puts his fist through the window.
Yeah, but he's pre-edging this.
Okay, cool.
This is coming at force 6.
Force 6. Okay, I get a normal normal body roll, don't I?
Look at that. That is probably the worst.
That is really bad. That. Yeah. What's I get to resist it with body, don't I?
Yes.
But
you have a -6 AP.
-6. So that's 13. So that'll be 7 dice then. I get 1 success.
So you take 8 stun.
8 stun. Okay, yeah. So they're both still up. So let's. I'm just calling up the the order tracker, tracking thing. So let's have some initiative. Let's get my initiative up. Right, this guy here, this is, he has a 12. And
which one has a 12?
The top one has a 12. The one that you're fighting, and this one has a 9. So the 9, the 12 is yours, Studley. And the 9 is yours, Billy Bob. Yeah, so Tornado, you're up and running, but I'm. Is there anything you would like to do?
Well, so at the moment, Tornado's in the back of the van, so he doesn't know if they're...
Okay then. So right, Billy Bob, you're up.
Okay, so Billy Bob does it again. After he throws a right hand, he's going to come round with a left hook. Is that still -4?
Yes, if you're pulling shots with it.
I don't suppose I did enough to knock this guy over, did I?
How much damage did you do?
9 stun.
Does it go on his physical limit?
I don't know.
Well, that's normally the knockback thing, but I always thought you had to do physical damage to knock them back rather than...
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Is that 2 successes? Yeah.
It is, yes.
and he gets his that, but he has one less. Do I have an AP for that now? He gets 3. So that's
I missed that one then.
that's no. Oh yes, that. Oh sorry, no, hang on, that's wrong. Ignore that. Because you're right, because he'll have his dodge first, won't he? Which is reaction and intuition, isn't it? 6 first. 6 minus 1, 5. He only gets 1 success, so that's so you're now at 10p, and then he has 12 dice for his body. So this is 10. He gets 1 success, so he takes 9. 9 stun, which actually knocks him out.
Ooh.
So he, on 12, that this is the one up at the top, who sort of like he draws a Browning high power on his first action, and then
as soon as he goes for a gun, I want to seize the initiative.
Okay, are you using a
Point of edge?
Point of edge then? Yep. Okay then. So that will give you 13.
And I'll cast my spell again.
Okay, go for
the
it.
Same spell.
Oh.
That's better, I would have thought.
Yeah.
He gets. Does he get a dodge?
If he knows it's coming, then yes, he gets a dodge.
Yeah. Well, he's been hit by the spell before,
Yeah.
so he'll do his dodge. It's 6, but he's got 8, so that's minus 2, so that's 4. He gets 1 success.
Okay, so he's currently looking at 10.
Okay, he's got 11 dice. What's your AP?
You got a -6 AP.
So that'll be 5 then. And he gets 2 successes.
Right, so you take another point of 8 stun.
8 stun. Okay, which knocks him out.
Yes. Tag team.
Yeah, so he is out. Cool. Yeah, what do you wish to do?
Billy Bob's gonna he's gonna have a look through the door, see if he can see anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, so the door's shut at the moment. There appears to be a handle on it. That just seems to be a pulled down handle, and you know from the feed from the drone earlier on that it pushes inwards.
So yeah, he's gonna open the door.
Studley's getting out the passenger side, and then he's going to run towards the door. Well, it's not more of a run; it's more of a
Waddle.
Yeah, sort of like him holding up his trousers and making a waddled dash towards it.
So he sees it is clear. So Billy Bob's he's gonna go straight in.
Yeah, so you can go in. Yeah. Can you get through the door? Yeah.
Yeah.
Studley's going to
Drag them in, Billy Bob. Drag them in.
Oh yes. So you can drag the 2 gangers inside. I'm going to delete them. Is that all right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But once we're in and we've shut the door, Studley wants to just quickly go see what they have on them. They've obviously got one of them's got a pistol.
What's
if he dropped that? We'll.
Yeah, hang on. What's Tornado doing while this is happening?
He's petting his dog.
Yeah. So Tornado is at the moment keeping an eye out on the street, and he's going to be standing by if they need backup.
Okay. So yeah, you notice both of them. Just so you know, they seem to be carrying Browning ultra power weapons. They have a knife on them. They're wearing armored vests, and they've also got. They seem to be carrying some kind of drug with them as well. You're not too sure because you're not really up on drugs, but they definitely have some white powder on them, and they have Metalink communicators on.
Okay, but there's nothing like who do you call it might have flashed for them to see. They don't have like a card or anything.
No, they don't seem to have anything like that. You figure Crank probably had something.
Right. Okay, Studley's going to say to Billy Bob, there's a door around to your left, and there's also one down this way, and he's going to point down here.
Okay.
Check out the other door. I'll keep an eye out here.
Before that, Billy Bob wants to take all the weapons off them, and he's gonna tie them up.
I don't think we'll have time for that.
So that'll be two. They've got two brown high power pistols and two knives. Is it the case that you want to carry these with you, or
I don't want to carry them. I just want to get rid of them so they can, if they do come round, we're not gonna get into another.
Okay, so Studley's just worried about time, but yeah. So you can put them on the table. Would that be?
It probably if there's like a bin or a
Yeah, you could probably find a bin to drop them into. That's
yeah,
not
drop them in there, and okay, it'd be like okay, and you just like go around to the next door.
Yeah, so you can both see both the doors. I think Studley, you can see.
Yeah, so Studley's just sort of like stood on this corner, and just just sort of like occasionally peeping round it to see, but he's listening to see whether or not he can hear anything.
Yeah, so just make a perception roll for me.
Yeah,
Three successes. Yeah, you can hear from beyond the door. There seems to be quite a large hum. It's almost like a mechanical hum or electronic hum rather than somebody humming.
Okay.
It's almost like.
So maybe a generator, something like that.
Could be, yeah. Yeah, Billy Bob, what would you like to do?
Yeah, Billy Bob's gonna be doing the same. He's gonna be listening at this door.
Yeah, well, make a perception roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't hear anything from the other side of this door at all.
So he's gonna open it and again peek through and see what he can see.
Yeah, well, these doors are not locked or anything like that, and you can see what you can see.
Okay, he sees that it's clear, so he's gonna say move it in, and he's gonna go in.
Remember, they can't see it. They can't see what you can see.
Yeah.
So when you say moving in, they probably think it means you're going into a room, but it's definitely.
He's gonna say that because he's in military mode at the moment, so he's
so in military mode, what you would be doing is telling people what you're going down. So what I'm saying is that you're likely to say that there's a corridor rather than, because if there was a room, you would have said I'm going into the room. But
can they not see this?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought Okay, so
We can see on the map, but that doesn't pass on to us as our characters.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I
I know you're in a corridor, but
Yeah.
Studley doesn't.
Yeah.
You just said going in, which could mean you're going into a swimming pool or.
Yes, there's a swimming
no.
pool.
Bearing in mind, Tornado's outside in the van, so he doesn't even know you're in a corridor.
Oh, that does
Yeah.
remind me about something. Tornado, can you make your electronic warfare plus intuition check for me, please? Billy Bob, how far down do you want to go down this corridor?
To this wall here, he's gonna peek around there, see if it's all clear.
Yeah, so can you see there's a door? at the end of it.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I got 4 successes, by the way.
Yeah, you suddenly start to notice that there's a bit of distortion and background noise coming through the comm links.
Okay.
It's not the best connection ever. Studley, what do you want to do?
He's intrigued, so he's going to come down to this door.
Yeah.
Is there anything written above it?
No,
on the door itself, or is there a glass panel or anything?
No, it's a good call. It does look like there was some kind of label on it, but you can still see the 4 screw holes. That it looks like the label's been taken off. So whatever it was is no longer labelled.
Okay. He's going to cast a spell on himself at force 3. He's going to do physical mask, and he's going to try to make himself look like one of the people that was stood outside.
Okay. So you communicate this to your team just so they know. Yeah, excellent. So yeah, roll your spells. Yes, Tornado, what would you like to do?
So at the moment, Tornado is still keeping an eye out, but he's going to say over the comms, which is getting a bit scratchy. Comms are getting interfered with. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's 3 net hits, so that'll be used as a number of successes for me to beat if needed. Okay.
And then once he's got that spell, and that's currently being sustained by his focus concentration.
Is that a force 3 one?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, he's just going to open the door as if he, you know.
Yeah, cool.
If it was his place.
Let me open it for you. So, so what you can see, there seems to be a door directly opposite you. You can see there's a corridor. It's a very wide corridor. You can also see that just up at the top to your right, your left, sorry, there's a camera. Can you see it?
Here. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing down at the bottom is the thing that seems to be making the humming noise.
Is it a force field?
It seems to be a couple of lasers that are... There's 2 sort of like at this sort of like that on one side, and 2 on the opposite side at different heights. So it means actually trying to pass through them it would be immensely difficult.
Is there like a control panel or anything?
Not that you can see from where you are at the moment. These things here, just so you know, are lights.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Billy Bob, what would you like to do?
Okay, he's gonna go down to this door, quickly listen, see if he can hear anything.
Okay.
And
It's like, it reminds me of D&D.
Hmm.
I go to the door. I listen. Okay.
Well, before I move on, I'm going to spike my door open just.
Well, your perception, Billy Bob.
okay. Well, sorry.
Yeah, you can't hear anything from the opposite side at all.
Okay, so again, if he can open the door, he's going to go look through. If it's all clear, he's going to enter and relay back.
Billy Bob comes up at this side. That'd be really funny.
So you can now go through the doorway.
Okay, so he's going to say I'm.
So you seem to be on like a concourse somewhere, and you can see that there's a set of escalators there. Can you see it just by the 03? that actually obviously goes down, and you figured this sort of like goes down to the track of the subway. The thing to the west, there's a door there, and that's clearly labelled as toilets. The stairs that are going down that you can see are not actually there.
Right.
The thing directly opposite you are old vending machines
Okay.
that are completely empty.
And this.
It's just like an industrial pipe,
Okay.
probably used for air conditioning, you would have thought.
Right. So yeah, he's relaying back all everything that you can see. He wants to move forward.
Yeah, so
Is that a ledge? Yeah.
yeah, that's a ledge. So this is the steps going down. So it's like escalators in London. It's a huge. They're not operable, and they look like they haven't been working for some time. This is actually like a pillar.
Can he tell if this place has been like walked through? Is there like dust and rubbish and?
It doesn't look like it's been used for a long period of time. I mean, there's nothing left in the vending machines. Nothing looks clean. The escalators don't appear to be working at all.
So there's no tracks of any sort.
No.
Right. Okay. Yeah, he wants to go all the way down to the end as far as he can.
Okay, so you actually come up to there, and you actually notice that you're actually on the opposite side of the lasers. So if you go here, you can actually see. You can actually see. You can see Studley inside, but you're on the opposite side of the lasers.
Right. He's gonna say, "What are you doing here?"
Studley is just sort of like point to his left and mouth.
So you can probably, I think you can see this.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
That
So
doesn't.
Billy Bob's gonna move back out of the view of the camera.
Okay. Just so you know, looking back the opposite way, just seems to be more of the same. More escalators going down, more vending machines, and it comes to a dead end at the far end.
Right. Billy Bob's gonna ask Tornado if. Oh no, he won't be able to. Well, never mind. Billy Bob's gonna say over so vocally to lovely
Studley.
Studley. You want me to take out the cameras?
Studley's going to go on the other side of the door closed, and he's going to fish out his communicator so that he can actually answer back.
Yeah. Did you say you're going to close the door?
Yeah. Looks a bit funny with me opening it and then close, but he's going to take out his comm unit, and he's going to say, "Well, just come round here and we can pretend that I'm accompanying you."
Right. Okay. He's gonna head back towards.
Okay. I'll move you because I can move you through the barriers, and then
Okay.
there you go.
So once Billy Bob's there, Studley's going to say, just keep behind me so it looks like I'm taking you to where everybody else has gone.
Roger. I was gonna
And
say.
then he's just going to open the door, and knowing that the thing is to the right, he's going to just head round to his round to
Yeah,
his-
so you notice, Billy Bob, that Studley is actually now got the physical manifestation of one of those gangers outside. So he's in the same sort of like outfit. Yeah, you can also see that you can see the second camera now.
Yeah.
You see as well, Studley.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. And you can see that the corridor turns once more.
Yeah, so he's going to go round the thing.
Are the cameras moving?
You sort of like glance up at them as you go by, but they don't seem to be moving.
So they're
at all.
static.
They don't seem to be moving at all.
Right. Okay.
There's a door here, isn't there? Is there anything down?
The other thing that you can see is the door down at the south now of this end corridor. Yeah.
Right.
The-
Is that like a bigger door? Or?
Yeah, it's quite a massive door, and the entrance up at the top is the blocked off tube entrance.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. So that would be on the opposite side of that would be your exit down onto the street. So this wall, you figure, is the streets on the opposite side of it.
Okay.
So this is obviously you come up from the subway, and then this is the way out, and that's probably the control room or where the station guards etc. were. But then what does that make this? Studley's going to go up to this door. Is there anything above this one, or did they look to see?
Oh, sorry, Billy Bob. I was just moving in there. Yeah, this is heavily locked down from your end. So it looks like it's got one of those lever locks, if that makes sense. So when you push it down, it actually brings a lever up to release it, but currently it's locked down, and it's locked down from
Our side.
From your side, yeah.
Studley's going to say in sort of like a quieter voice, going to say, "Well, he obviously didn't come this way. Let's check the other door." And he's going to head round.
Well, this doesn't look suspicious at all. Yeah. Okay.
He's
Yeah.
going to open this door.
Open this door. Yeah, so when you open this door, it's literally, hang on, let me just get back onto my thing. Can you see it's just this little pathway here, this little room here. It doesn't go out onto the, hang on, so I'll just put the dynamic lighting on it for you so you can see exactly what it looks like. So can you see it's literally just a little door, a little room?
Oh, right. There's nothing behind it.
Yeah, but there is something in it. In this room is the crumpled body of Crank, and he's literally been shot once in the head. And you also notice that he seems to, somebody has then used the blood from the gunshot wound to actually trace on his t-shirt, as well as the words "Leet." It now has a 9 on it.
Oh.
Can Studley kneel down and can I make a memory check to see whether or not I can remember where he put the thing that he flashed?
Yes, make a memory check.
After he
Yeah, make a memory check. Yeah, he put it in his pocket.
Right. So Studley wants to check that pocket to see whether or not he can.
Yeah, when you reach into the pocket, you pull out, and it's just a card with the green 9 on it, or 6, depending which way you hold it.
Okay. Studley's going to put that back in his pocket.
Cool.
He's going to put it in. Studley's going to take it. He's not going to put it in his pocket. He's going to put it in Studley's pocket.
Yeah, so Studley's got it. Yeah, and at that point, can you both roll perception checks for me?
So,
Billy Bob critically glitches.
Well done,
Oh,
Billy.
he just glitches. He didn't. He must have got a success. Yeah. And yeah. So Billy Bob, you don't hear anything, but Studley, you probably relayed this to Billy Bob in any case. You hear, you can hear the hum of the laser thing, but the other thing you can suddenly hear is almost like a mechanical electronic sound or something starting up, and it doesn't take you long to suddenly realize that you think the escalators down here have just started to be operated. And I think we'll leave it there for this week, guys. While you're stuck down there, waiting to see what actually comes up.
Oh, they were the up escalators, were they? I was going to ask you that.
There were actually down escalators. Billy Bob knew that they went down to the lower level, but they've actually booted up and they're actually coming up. So it's either that or there's somebody at the bottom who's going to take a long time to get up to the top.
Oh, that's a bugger when that.
Because it does.
Style though.
Excellent. Oh, well done, guys. So that's the end of this week's adventure. As always, rather than going round and saying who everybody is, does anybody have any announcements for the rest of the week?
Nope.
I do not have any announcements for the rest of the week.
Okay.
That's negative.
I'm away this weekend.
Oh,
Oh, where are you going? Anywhere nice?
No, not really. Just around Nottingham for the weekend.
cool. Nottingham.
Like, is it like a Nottingham Mardi Gras or something?
No, we've got 3 shows.
But it's not your debut yet, is it?
No. It's next month, end of next month.
Cool. We're looking forward to that. So
Yeah.
I might be able to get some streaming done on Thursday, but if not, I will be back on Saturday afternoon, 3:00 BST time for Somerset Isle. Or Isles.
Everybody's finished it by now.
I know. Well, Ninja614 couldn't get logged on. His game crashed on it. So, but everybody will have finished it. But I'm quite excited because there's.
Which character are you taking into it?
I'm taking my Argonian because I'm just going to carry on working with him. But I actually patched it all, started it up, and it went straight into the thematic, and I stopped it.
Oh yes, because you want to be sharing that with people.
Yeah, because I want to experience it right from the beginning. Because I haven't, even though I was on beta, I didn't look at it at all.
What is it?
It's a new expansion for Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, okay.
So there's a new area, and there's also jewelry which is coming in, which is a new skill. So everybody's really working on that. But there's also class changes as well.
I used to find that really difficult in World of Warcraft. That was the most difficult one to do, I always found.
Well, apparently because Gamer Guy has been saving up all his jewelry ready for it, but apparently you can't actually use it. You can only use items that are actually found on Somerset Isle. So everybody's going to be sort of like, buying and selling that. Everybody's really prepared for it, but I'm just going to go on.
As you are.
As I am, you know, so I'm just going to go on. Apparently there's some changes to Templars, but I don't know what they are. But I just sort of like think I think if I knew the changes, I wouldn't know the impact of it. I'll probably have new skills. I might have to respec everything again, because sometimes they do that, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, I will be playing that on Saturday night. Hopefully is Mithras, if everybody's about.
What are you going to do if Medivac doesn't have his computer running?
Then it'll be if he doesn't have it done, then I'll give the people the same options as I gave when Longshanks wasn't around.
Okay.
But the only thing is, I will need to know about that. Well, tomorrow or Thursday. You know,
that's
because
what I'm saying. So we might have to. I mean, you could discuss that with Richard.
Well, yeah, because if not, I'm not. Otherwise, I just won't have time to organise anything. So, I think we had a week last time, didn't we? Yeah, Mithras. No, you told me on Tuesday, Longshanks, didn't you?
I put a message on Sunday, but I told you formally on Tuesday.
So I just need some time. So yeah, but maybe Mithras on Saturday night, and then more. Someone said on Sunday at 3:00. So I hope you've enjoyed watching tonight as much as I've enjoyed DMing, and hopefully these guys have enjoyed playing. I just like to say to each and every one of you to remember to be who you are and say what you think, because the people who mind don't matter, and the people who matter don't mind. Have fun, and I will catch you all later. And until then, I would like to say to each and every one of you, consider yourself well and truly waffled. Have fun, guys. Bye.